Exactly a year ago, ito ang pinapangarap ni Coach Alex Angeles to bring his talented squad to the South Division Finals. Pero mag-iisang taon na rin nang kapusin sina Coach Cholo Villanueva by just 1 point versus Zamboanga. Tonight inside the Batangas City Coliseum, whose familiarity will reign. It's resilient versus resurgent. This is your Mpbl South Division Finals.
The Bacoor City Strikers still end up on top after a dominant, magical even showing here in Game 1 of your South Division Finals. James Kwekotay, another fast break finish for the Bacoor City Strikers.
Aggressive drive to the basket and the finger roll for 2.
Motivation ko din na gusto kong maging champion. So yun yung bit-bit ko araw-araw na pumunta sa practice, gusto ko mag-champion at kami makaranas ng championship.
Ablaza, he was able to knock it down from the outside.
Kung darating na itong game na to, magiging sino yung as a team na maglaro.
Kwekotay again. Kissing it off the glass. 2 points once more for Bacoor.
Doon, umiyak ako nung last season eh, nung nalaglag ko sa Zamboanga. Then ang game na nakayuko lang, umiyak kami lahat. Nung Bacolod, yun, promise namin, nakasama-sama pa rin tayo. 4 years na kami nandito sa Division Finals na to. Tapos, eto na yung chance namin ulit. Sana makuha namin.
This is one setback. It will take 3 games to win. Titingnan natin kung kaya gawin ng Batangas paabutin ng 3 games.
It is another beautiful night for Philippine basketball as we give you your continuing coverage of the 2023 Mpbl playoffs, coming to you live from the Batangas City Coliseum, the home of the Mpbl's inaugural season champions, the Batangas City Embassy Chill. Tonight, their backs are against the wall as they are fighting for survival against the Bacoor City Strikers in the Mpbl South Division Finals. James Kwekotay shot the ball lights out in game number 1, scoring 25 points, 19 in the first half, making 6 3-pointers, really feeling comfortable on their home floor inside the strike gym. On the other hand, Jong Balolia struggled, only scoring 4 points, and we shall break down his shot chart later on. He did mention that, of course, with the strike gym being one of the smallest courts here in the Mpbl, it was a bit of an adjustment for him. But tonight, he's back on his home floor as they try to survive in the Mpbl playoffs. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to game number 2 of the Mpbl South Division Finals. My name is Mix Gomez and I'm joined by Javi Palanya. Now Javi, you covered game 1 of that series. What's the biggest change that you would want to see from the side of Batangas in this matchup?
Well, for Batangas, it's obviously really improving on the defensive front and also dominating the boards. That was really the big difference. They allowed Bacoor City a lot of offensive rebounds, hence a lot of second chance opportunities. And you know, despite the magical shooting of the Bacoor City Strikers, each time that Batangas is able to make a stop, they let Bacoor get an offensive rebound, and when they do that, they get another shot at the basket.
Now Javi will continue to break down those keys later on in his keys to game number 2. But now let's establish our courtside reporters for tonight. We have Andrea Indicio for the Bacoor City Strikers and Sidney Crespo for the Batangas City Embassy Chill. Unahin natin si Andrea. Andrea, kamusta ang ating Bacoor team coming into game number 2?
Una sa lahat, magandang gabi sa inyong tatlo at sa ating mga kaliga na nakatutok sa atin ngayong gabi. And that is right, I will be reporting mula sa panig ng Bacoor na ngayon nga ay sobrang saya because they're just 1 win away from that South Division Championship. However, sabi nga ni Coach Alex Angeles, hindi pwedeng mapasobra because at the end of the day, Batangas is still a champion team at hindi natin sila pwedeng baliwalain, lalo na dito sa home court nila. And so, will Bacoor be able to continue their good run? Let's find out. Thanks, Navi.
Well, at least the dreams continue to be alive for Coach Alex Angeles here in the 5th season of the Mpbl. But as Sidney Crespo mentioned in our teaser, itong pangarap naman ni Coach Cholo Villanueva na umabot sa National Finals, it also continues to be alive. They only lost by 1 point last year against Zamboanga. So Sid, kamusta nga ba ang Batangas City?
Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat, no? Yes, I am reporting for Batangas and nabanggit ko nga kayo na sa opening na kinapos lang sila ng konti, but you know, Coach Cholo firmly believes that they are more mature now. Last year, nasa Zamboanga tayo, pero ngayon, nasa kanilang home court, So tignan daw natin kung anong mangyayari ngayong gabi. I have more stories later, but for now, back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Sydney, and thank you, Andrea. After all, we are inside the Batangas City Coliseum already, jam-packed here in our venue, so we are awaiting a nice game number 2 at our hands. Now, let's discuss our playoff brackets. Javi, what's happening right now in our playoff picture?
Well, earlier this week, Pampanga has already stamped its attendance in our national championship with a thrilling come-from-behind victory over the San Juan Knights in the Phil Oil Eco Oil Arena just last Tuesday. But tonight we are going to witness Game 2, Batangas versus Bacoor. Let's see which of these two teams. Will Batangas be able to extend this to a Game 3? Or will Bacoor finally make a meeting with the Pampanga Giant Lanterns in our national championship?
Just so everybody knows, if a Game 3 will be forced, it will happen inside the Strike Gym this coming Tuesday. And if Game 3 happens, then Game number 1 of the national finals will happen on Saturday. If not, if the series ends today, then Game number 1 of the national finals will begin Friday inside the Brenzigiao Convention Center. Now let's talk about the hot hand for Bacoor in their previous outing. James Cuecote, boy, did he fire the ball at such a good rate, especially in the opening quarter. He was the one who scored the opening points for Bacoor.
Oh, he definitely set the tone para dito sa Bacoor City Strikers. You look at that, 25 points. But the good thing about his performance, not just the number of points makes, but the way he was actually able to score these points. Most of these baskets came within the flow of the offense. He did not need to create a lot of opportunities for himself because his teammates were able to locate him and he was able to knock down shots at a very high clip.
Now, I did ask James Cuecote, now you're going to play on a different venue. Of course, the dimensions of the court are different here inside the Batangas City Coliseum. And so, is it going to be a factor? And his answer was, no, it's that simple. All right, now let's talk about Jong Baloria, who struggled in game number 1. Javi, can you explain to us why it was such a hard night for Jong?
Well, you know, this playoffs, Jong Baloria has been spectacular para sa Batangas City Embassy Chill. The manner of his shots, the way that he was taking difficult shots and making them were just really out of this world. But in that game, all defenders that the Bacoor City Strikers threw at him were sticking to him like a leech, really putting him out of his spots, taking him out of his timing. 2 out of 8 from the field, 0 out of 4 from the outside. That is not enough, and that's just not gonna cut it for the boys of Coach Cholo Villanueva if one of your top gunners in Jong Baloria will not produce the same number of points that we are usually used to seeing him perform to.
And the thing about Jong is he is already established as one of the premier scorers of the Mpbl, a part of our 1,000 point scout. Let's see if he can bounce back here in game number 2. Now, Javi Palaño will be breaking down the rest of the numbers in the first game of the series.
Well, this was a game that was nip and tuck actually for the first 5 minutes, but when Margui was able to score off a putback at the 4:55 mark of that first quarter, Bacoor took the lead and they never looked back. They extended it to as much as 27 points in the second half. Despite numerous attempts at a comeback para dito sa Batangas City Embassy Chill, Bacoor City always had an answer and they really emphasized their dominance on their home floor dito sa laro na to, winning 89-68. It was such a magical performance and a shooting night in Coach JV Gayoso's words para dito sa Bacoor City Strikers. 44.9% from the field. But Mix, this is what I want everybody to really look at. 14 out of 38 from the outside. This is not a number that we're used to seeing from the Bacoor City Strikers. In fact, those 38 attempts, more than the attempts that they attempted from two-point country. They only had 31 attempts from inside the arc. So that's a thing that Coach Alex Angel, I'm sure, addressed to his team during practice in preparation for this game because they cannot just rely on this. This is not really their strength. So they're going to play the percentages and we'll see if they can dominate the inside today and really stick to their strength.
Now that being said, and I want it to come from you right now, Javi, are you expecting a blowout again?
No, I'm expecting this to be a dogfight. I'm expecting this to be a close game. I'm pretty sure Coach Cholo Villanueva is hell-bent on making this a very good one and ending up with a W. So let's see.
All right, now we have our player matchup for tonight. It's Jan Mpbl, one of the top scorers of Bacoor in the season, going up against a fellow All-Star in Jexter Apinan.
Well, you know, these two guys have been great for their respective teams throughout the whole year, especially Jan Mpbl, who I said during Game 1 was not just a revelation for the Bacoor City Strikers, but for the league in general. Numbers he's been putting up this season, we're not used to seeing him from his role in Bacoor last year. 14 points in a supporting role to backstop James Cuecote. That was enough to help Bacoor City get that victory. But the problem here for Batangas is, yes, Jexer Apinan did get 15 points on a very good clip, 50% from the field. He did have 13 rebounds as well. But that's the problem. If Jexer Apinan is your top point man, it just means that the other guys, those top producers for Batangas, are not performing well.
So the question is, can guys like Jong Valoria, Levi Hernandez, and Cedric Ablaza come alive tonight, especially on their home floor? As now, we have our two players, Jexter Apinan and Jan Nermal, with Andrea Envicio.
That is right, Migs. Unahin ko nang i-interview itong si Jan Nermal. Jan, napakaganda ng pinakita nyo last game. Pero sa tingin mo, ano ba yung magiging susi para maiuwi ninyo yung South Division Championship ngayong gabi?
Yun nga, yung lagi namin dinadala yung depensa namin. So, alam naman namin yung depensa ng Batangas. Number one, ano din sila sa defensive team. So, yun yung magpagkaanda namin. Siguro yung bawalan namin yung kumpiyansa sa sarili, tiwala sa Panginoon. Yun yung dadala namin.
Meron ka bang gustong sabihin sa mga sumusuporta sa Bacoor na talagang walang sawang sumusuporta sa inyo?
Sa lahat ng mga taga Bacoor na pumunta dito para suportahan yung team namin, para po sa inyo to lahat, bibigay po namin yung best namin para makuha yung panalo na to.
Alright, thank you so much. Good luck to you and your team. Dumako naman tayo sa aking kanan. Jexter, the Batangas crowd is expecting for a comeback. Simple lang ang tanong ko, ano ang maipapangako mo sa Batangas ngayong gabi?
Siyempre, babawi kami ngayon. Gagawin namin lahat para manalo yung gabi na to.
Malinaw na malinaw at rinig na rinig yun ng mga Batanggenyo. Meron ka pa bang gustong sabihin sa kanila?
Una-una, sa mga fans ng Batangas, maraming salamat sa mga pumunta dito ngayon. Kailangan namin kayo. Tulungan nyo kami. Kapit lang, atin to.
Alright, thank you so much. That's the spirit. Good luck to you and your team as well. Mga kaliga, once again, this is Game 2 of our South Division Finals. Bacoor versus Batangas. Richard Tampos, take it away.
Our jam-packed action begins. This is Game 2 of the best of 3 South Division Finals here at the Batangas City Coliseum. Bacoor Strikers took 1-0 lead against your Batangas City. Manny Pacquiao's Mpbl Season 5 presented by Extreme. Time to meet the starting lineups. First, the Bacoor City Strikers. Mpbl.com. Power forward number 3, the Iron Claw, Mike Cañete. Point guard number 9, Aaron Heruta. Starting at guard number 15, the Quick James Fox, James Quickote. Small forward number 29, Jan Nermal. Center number 52, Mark Yee. Their head coach is Alex Angeles. His assistants are RB Mangajas, Chris Gavina, Jix Duanamor, Marlo Corbin, the skyscraper Marlo Aquino, Big Mac Andaya, and Royce Cuevas. Assistant team manager Lawrence San Jose. Coaching consultants are Cap DJ Aganus, Willie General, and Chris Conway. Team manager and co-team honor, Mr. Dennis Abelia. Team honors are Mr. Jacob Revilla and Bacoor City, Honorable Mayor Strike Revilla. And now, the Mpbl inaugural season Anta Raha Cup champion, your Batangas City Embassy Hill. Point guard number 1, CJ Isit. Small forward number 15, Don Ochea. Power forward number 20, Ced Ablaza. Coming in at center number 43, Jexter Apinan. Off guard number 45, Jong Valoria. Batangas City Embassy Hill is led by Cholo Villanueva. Assistant coaches J.R. Aquino, Warren Capitan, John Arenas, and Dino Enrile. Assistant team manager Gilbert Alea. Team manager Gina Labanza. General manager Jerry T. LGU partner Batangas 5th District, Honorable Congressman Marvin Marino. The team owner is Lucio.
Presenting the starters for game number 2 of the MPBL's South Division Finals. It's Aaron Heruta with James Kwekute, Marquis, Mike Cañete, and Jan Dermal for Bacoor. And then we have a couple of new starters for Coach Cholo Villanueva in CJ Isit, Jong Valoria, and Jexter Apinan joining Cedric Ablaza and Don Ochea. Thank you for joining us. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Javi Palanya with Sidney Crespo and Andrea Endicio. Now, Javi, can you talk to me about this lineup change by Coach Cholo? You have Jexter Apinan, you have Jong Valoria, and CJ Isit beginning. Your thoughts about those?
I feel like he brought in CJ Isit to really bring a lot of defensive firepower. Look, now he's guarding James Kwekute. CJ has been known to be a very versatile defender, especially at the guard spot. But then on that opening possession, Bacoor City already seeing a crack in the defense right away and scoring on the first basket.
Well, you've talked about that flawless execution of Bacoor since game number 1. It continues here on the road. CJ Isit works with Zed Ablaza. Good hands by Heruta. No turnover forced. Apinan going to Zed. Ablaza leans in and scores.
But that was off of a broken play. Not really the type of shot that Coach Cholo Villanueva wanted to start this offense with, but he'll take it. They're now tied 2 apiece. But you know, Coach Cholo was saying during the first game that he's like seeing a mirror in this Bacoor City team, because these two teams give a heavy premium on the defensive end, and both teams really like to execute. But in terms of the execution, it's actually more of the strength of the Batangas City Embassy Chill. But because of the intense defense that the Bacoor City Strikers had in game 1, Batangas wasn't able to do that in that first match.
Well, these two teams, after all, are top 2 in the league in terms of defense. There was just a bit of a twist because in the regular season, it was Bacoor that was number 1 all season long. Now it's Batangas, number 1 in that category. Nice feed, CJ Isit to Jexter Apinan.
Oh, this is also one thing why Coach Cholo Villanueva decided to start with CJ Isit. Isit is a very accomplished slasher in his career. He's been able to suck in the defense, and that time he was able to drop it off to his big man for the score.
CJ Isit was a part of that champion team, the second season of the MPBL with the San Juan Knights. And there you see that wonderful assist coming from the former champion himself, finding Jexter Apinan. Apinan posting up against Marquis. Apinan loses Mark, but it's a charge on him.
A little bit too over-aggressive there was Jexter Apinan. He had a lot of shooters waiting on the opposite side of the floor. Jong Valoria was waiting for a kick out, but Apinan forced the issue. Let's take a look at it here on the low block. Marquis trying to force him baseline, but then read it beautifully at inabangan agad. Used his chest as soon as Jexter Apinan went on that drop step.
We have to remind ourselves that Marquis is the reigning Defensive Player of the Year here in the MPBL. You characterized him as the living legend of our league in game number 1. Mike Cañete saw an opening, he drives, and then he lost the ball.
You can expect Mike Cañete in this game mix to bounce back from that atrocious performance that he had. We're really not used to seeing him have a 0 out of 7 performance from the field in that first game. So I'm looking for him to be more aggressive and looking for his shots.
And we should be reminded as well that Mike Cañete was supposed to be the all-star starter for the Bacoor City Strikers, if not for his injury. So it was Jan Dermal who replaced him in the lineup. Jong Valoria from downtown. Off to the right, rebound Kwekute.
Yeah, that was really off. The moment that it left his hands, I was off to the right.
4-2 now. Heruta turns around and he scores.
I'm going to talk about this more later in our keys to victory, but the unpredictability brought about by Aaron Heruta's orchestration of the offense has done wonders para dito sa kupunan ng Bacoor City Strikers.
Did have 5 dimes in game number 1 to go alongside his 8 points. Isit misses, rebound Ochea, and he was denied.
The 5 assists of Aaron Heruta, relatively maybe a low number, but the way that he was able to dictate the tempo and really quarterback well, move that ball around and initiate the offense for his team as we look at that turnaround floater, putting on the brakes and going for that push shot.
How about that matchup, by the way, between 2 fast men in the MPBL? Heruta versus Valoria. Jong goes to Zed, Ablaza spins! That's a miss, rebound Dermal.
Cedric Ablaza only had 7 points in game 1, was 2 out of 8 from the field. He was really shackled by the defense. I think that's been the game plan of Coach Alex Angeles. You know, you let other guys like Jexter Apinan carry the load offensively and just do away with the performances of guys like John Baloria, Cedric Ablaza, among others.
Jose did mention that there still is some transitioning happening for him as he just recently returned to Batangas City. Now let's hear from Andrea Indicio.
Is proud to say that in Game 1, they played with almost perfect defense, especially on transition defense, wherein they were able to limit Batangas into only 2 fast break points na usually daw ay nagre-range from 16 to 20 points. He's putting all the credit to his players who were all physical but they managed to keep their cool and stay composed all throughout the game. However, kagaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, they can't be too happy. And so they polished their performance last game. Tinama yung mga maliliit na bagay like boxing out kay Apinan and yung mga maling handling like shooter ba o hindi. Tonight, they have nothing but high hopes and a lot of faith na may uuwi nila ang South Division Championship ngayong gabi. Mix and Javi?
Well, Abby, you did mention that in terms of offense, you might give an advantage to the Batangas side in that category. So it's a good thing that Bacoor was able to neutralize it in game number 1. They weren't able to neutralize Jexter Apinando in the previous possession.
A 3-pointer coming from Jexter Apinan. This 3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. You know, that's one thing that if Jexter Apinan is able to hit in a consistent basis, at least more than regular, then this Batangas offense is going to be tough to stop because they're going to have to now cover the other guys to prevent the outside shooting of Jexter Apinan. But that's a question that we're going to wait the answer for as this game progresses.
Charge called on James Quecote as he tried to provide a screen to Mpbl in front of Coach Alex Angeles.
I'm almost sure that Coach Cholo Villanueva has multiple defensive coverages planned for James Quecote after that explosion in Game 1.
Babalikan natin yan mamaya-maya. Ngayon punta natin si City Crespo.
Mukhang magandang throwback para kay Coach Cholo Villanueva when I reminded him that they were in a similar do-or-die scenario last year. He believes though that this time mas nag-mature, tumapang at mas willing na lalong manalo ang kanyang kupunan. And losing his franchise player in Cedric Ablaza for majority of the year but still reaching the South Division Finals proves that. Tulad nga ng sinabi ni Coach Cholo, hindi madali mawala ng star player at baka kung iba yan, they could have folded or stopped being consistent. Think about that. Tonight, Batangas is a different mentality. Simple lang muna. They need a better start and push the pace. Gentlemen?
That's why all season long, it has been safe to say that Batangas has been overachieving. But do you think, and would you actually say that the loss of Cedric Ablaza was definitely a blessing in disguise for them?
That's correct, Migs. I do agree with you on that because it made them depend on each other more. It made them work as a team. It developed their chemistry. They were not dependent on just one player. Everybody had to chip in. Everybody had to contribute to make up for the absence of Cedric Ablaza throughout the season.
Ablaza, by the way, was a mythical 5 selection last year. That's how important he has been for Batangas City as the ball went out of bounds in favor of the blue shirts.
And if we continue to look back and expound on that point of yours, makes that mythical 5 selection of Cedric Ablaza, especially during the latter minutes of the game and in clutch situations, you would always depend on Cedric Ablaza and he would deliver para sa Batangas.
CJ Isit delivers this time for Batangas City. Another 3-pointer from the right wing. That ignites the crowd and that will alarm Coach Alex Angeles to call for time.
CJ Isit is really making use of the trust given to him by Coach Cholo Villanueva to start this game. He's bringing on the energy, he's being efficient, and most of all, he's doing a good job defensively as well.
Take a look at it once more. The former champion with the San Juan Knights. He used to be the first-string point guard, by the way, of Coach Randy Alcantara ahead of Orlan Mamar. As you get to see our wonderful fans inside the Batangas City Coliseum rejoicing as they fight for survival in the Mpbl South Division Finals. We'll be back. The score is 12-4. All right, we'll take this time to discuss the keys to victory of Javi for Bacoor.
Number one, unpredictability makes it easy. This was a big factor of why they were able to dominate that game 1 against Batangas City Embassy Chill. Ito si James Quecote had 25 points, John Normal had 14, Marquis had 10, and the trio of Ludovice, Heruta, and Leo combined for 24 points. So it was a total team effort para sa strikers in that game. Number two, dominate the interior. You cannot rely on just your outside shot here today. It's not their strength. We discussed that at the top of our coverage. So they have to be able to go back to their strength, look in the inside, and it's not just also scoring baskets, but also at the same time winning the battle of the boards, just like they did in game number 1. And number 3, lastly, is tune out the noise. They're playing on uncharted territory here. They're playing as an away team, so they have to be able to really focus on the game and not be distracted by the crowd here inside the Batangas City Coliseum.
All right, now the crowd is off to a good start, roaring for Batangas. They're up by 8 as now Quecote airballs a shot. Cañete gets the putback. And Javi, please break down your keys to victory for Batangas.
Para sa Batangas naman, number 1 is finish the job. When I mean finish the job, it means finish the defensive possessions and minimize the offensive rebounds. You cannot run if you're not able to get those defensive boards. And Bacoor was able to do good job of crashing the offensive glass and manufacturing second chance opportunities. Number 2, communication is key. There were numerous instances in game 1, especially in the first half, as Bacoor City built that dominant lead, wherein there were miscues on pick and roll defense and marking men in transition. Number 3 is freebies. Take advantage of the free throws given to you. You have to be able to convert if you're Batangas City. They were only 4 out of 9. And, you know, a lot of the open shots weren't able to be converted by the Batangas City Embassy Chill. And that speaks volumes about how they lost in that game 1.
Just saw some substitutions for the Batangas City Embassy Chill. We have Levy Hernandez and Mark Cruz now on the floor. A sorry miss by Jexter Apinan, and that's an easy foul call by referee Jonald Belnas. It's on Jexter Apinan. Six minutes gone by in game number 2. The score reads 12-6. Starters are still in for Coach Alex Angeles. Normal goes to Heruta. Aaron drives. Aaron taking his time. There's the feed to Cañete, who misses.
Oh, great intention right there by Aaron Heruta, threading that pass onto Mike Cañete, but good help defense by Batangas, clamping down on Cañete to miss that shot.
The other end, no connection for Sniper de Mexico, Levy Hernandez. Heruta brings the ball down against his former teammate, CJ Isit. Quecote fakes. He lost the ball, but it looked to have been off of Don Achea.
That's a good matchup at the point guard spot. Aaron Heruta and CJ Isit being former San Juan Knights.
CJ Isit used to be the starting guard for Coach Randy. Aaron Heruta would replace him off the bench, and then it was Orlan Momar as their third string point guard back in season 2. Ivan Ludovice now has checked in alongside Jamo Egilos. Quecote, that's a foul by CJ.
Despite the foul, Isit is doing a good job of closing out and moving his feet, preventing Quecote from having a clear lane to the basket when he puts the ball on the floor. And more than that, he's also able to prevent Quecote from having open looks.
Rebounding story, 14-6. That's part of your keys to the game. Actually, for both teams, no? Bacoor and Batangas.
That's correct. Both of these teams, one of the top rebounding squads in the tournament. And they have to be able to really whip it out in the battle of the boards to be able to have a big chance of winning this game.
12-8, second chance scoring at 10-2 in favor of Batangas City. Hernandez going to John Abuluto. John taking his time, one on the shot clock, and he still is able to score.
For a moment there, it seemed like he wasn't aware of what he was gonna do, but he looked at the clock, did not panic, and just pushed it up at the last moment to get that ball into the hole.
Lead back up to 6. Egilos turning around. No bounce for him. Rebound, Mark Cruz. CJ using the screen. Isit. There's the spin and the feed. Mark Cruz to Levy. Hernandez. That's an air ball. Another offensive rebound. 7 on the shot clock. CJ, 2 screens, Isit fires, another air ball. Ochea saves the ball, but then Batangas loses time.
Well, it seems the outside shot not kind to both squads. Well, Batangas does have 2 3-point shots, but it's a difference from game 1 wherein those 2 teams were able to knock down 3-point shots early in the game.
We saw a total of 24 3-pointers made in game number 1. And that's good efficiency, averaging 35% for both Bacoor and Batangas City. Joel Liu almost traveled. 8 on the shot clock. Liu, that's his range. Just too strong. Rebound Levy.
Well, Batangas has to be wary of the capability now of Joel Liu to hit that perimeter jumper. He has even extended his range to as far as the 3-point line.
Oh, good steal by Jemo Egulos on the double team. The Davise surveying and feeding to Marquis. A lot of action inside. Foul called on John Ambuluto.
This is the challenge for Batangas going up against this Bacoor team. They're not as tall compared to the Bacoor City Strikers, and the depth of their front line not as deep as the team of Coach Alex Angeles, wherein he could put multiple big men with different skill sets. Now you have Chito Jaime coming in, a guy who could stretch the floor, but could also put the ball on the deck and attack the basket.
Right on cue. Jaime misfires though. Remember, he's familiar with this venue, having participated in our inaugural season finals when he was playing for Muntinlupa against Batangas City. Villanueva triple teamed. Tough kick out of bounds.
And of course, Chito Jaime, one of the guys who did play for the Zamboanga Family's Brand Sardines last year. So Coach Alex Angeles, in the hope of him bringing his experience here to the Bacoor City Strikers, would push them all the way now to the national championship.
It's a handful of them, right? With Egulos as well, coming from Zamboanga.
Even Decoy Lopez.
There you go. Joey Liu. 3-pointer. That's short. Rebound Villanueva.
Still no conversions from the outside para sa Bacoor City Strikers.
44 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. MJ De La Virgen. On to Mark Cruz. They go to Levy. Hernandez for 3. Too strong. Rebound to Batangas. Ambuluto. MJ, that's a bump. Clear foul by Ivan Ludovice.
He knew it. It was late in the closeout. De La Virgen was open for quite a while on that right corner, and miscommunication on defense for the Bacoor City Strikers, hence the delay in marking MJ De La Virgen. Good thing that it was a foul called to prevent the basket.
Off of the baseline inbound. Here's MJ. Screen by Ambuluto. They go up top. Mark Cruz for 3. Too strong. Rebound. Another great battle there. Now we have 2 players tangled up. Chito Jaime and John Ambuluto.
And you just love this mix. This is playoff intensity. This is playoff basketball. This is the reason why we play. You want these teams to really gut it out, be competitive, and not give an inch against each other. After all, there is a lot at stake here.
See what happened? There you go. Ooh, that's like a wrestling move right there.
Ano ba tawag dyan? Suplex ba yan?
I can't remember.
I never really watched wrestling back in my childhood days, so I wouldn't remember also.
The good thing was there wasn't really something drastically bad that happened. And you saw the face of John Ambuluto. Just had to take the ride provided to him by Chito Jaime.
By the way, I'm pretty sure that Coach JV Gayoso is watching. He was talking about the hair of John Ambuluto. It's in a different color today. It was in the blonde side during game 1.
Okay.
Now, medyo pink na ngayon eh.
So, sabihin ko sana red head, pero hindi. Pink eh.
Pink head.
At hindi rin Wednesday ngayon. We'll just take that new hair color for John Ambuluto. 11 seconds to go in the opening frame. Chito Jaime in and out. Ooh. Batangas still has one chance here. MJ, does he know about the time? He does. Now we have been no strangers to those prayers by MJ Deliverin all season long, but not that time for him. All right, Javi, it's a low-scoring first quarter. Your thoughts about it?
A lot of defense happening here in the opening frame, but Batangas has done a good job of reading the coverages given to them by the Bacoor City strikers. Jexter Apinan, in his starting role here today, has been able to contribute, even hitting a shot from the outside. And the good thing about this for Batangas City here in the opening frame is despite the open looks that they've been giving the Bacoor City strikers, the strikers, compared to Game 1, have not been able to capitalize.
We'll break down the shooting percentages later on, but one of your keys to the game was rebounding. Right now, it's at 20-8 in favor of Batangas City, 14-8 after 1. This assist of the game is brought to you by Nexus 88 Gaming. Back inside the Batangas City Coliseum, let's talk about Sniper de Mexico, Levy Hernandez.
Oh, Levy Hernandez, even if he had 11 points in Game 1, he struggled. 4 out of 11, 3 out of 7 from three-point country. Those 2 3-point shots coming in the first quarter, and that third 3-point shot coming late in the third period. You know, just because of the defense that the Bacoor City strikers threw at him, he was unable to get into a rhythm. He did so at the start of the game, but throughout most of that match, he was out of his spots and they were really playing physical with him. Today, Batangas continues to have a conscious effort to locate Levy Hernandez. They know that when Levy gets shot, then this is going to be a good thing and it's going to make Batangas City hard to beat.
Well, another narrative about Levy in game number 1 was the fact that he was playing mind games with James Kwekute. As you get to look at our first quarter field goal shooting, not so high for our two teams, no. Would you say that the mind games being played by Levy eventually backfired onto him in game 1?
Indeed, that really is the right term for it. It definitely backfired on him. I feel like sometimes, you know, Levy has a tendency to get too much into it with his emotions, and that's why in a game like this, wherein it's a do-or-die situation, he has to focus on just playing basketball, produce for his team, do his job, star in his role, and that's going to help them have a good chance of having the victory here today.
4 on the shot clock. Ludovice, tough shot, another offensive rebound. Egulos got hit multiple times. And he had to make sure that the referees knew about it. All 3 referees had to contain him.
He was really upset and tinignan niya pa nga yung kamay niya. Baka namula na after all those slaps on his hand in that dispute for the basketball.
Well, Egulos himself also has finals experience here in the Mpbl, having played with not only Zamboanga but Batangas City in our inaugural season. Referees are reviewing the previous sequence, so why don't we give this time to honor them with all of their efforts. Jonal Belnas, Alan Manzano, and Rodel Brilla are calling it for today, wearing white and black. And we do thank you for joining us as well, everybody who's watching on our live streams and to all of our platforms. This is game number 2 of the South Division Finals. There will be a game 3. It will happen in Bacoor this coming Tuesday. And the outcome of this game will also vary the date of the game number 1 of our national finals. It will either be on Friday or on Saturday.
You just saw earlier on your screens Coach Chris Gavina,
Foul on
a late
number
addition
9, John
to
Ray
the coaching staff of
Villanueva,
Coach
is
Alex
first.
Angeles.
Upon review, there wasn't a sportsmanlike foul on number 22, Levy
All right,
Hernandez,
so there was
for
an
excessive
unspo
hard
committed by
contact.
Levy Hernandez.
Let's see what happened here. There you go.
Ayun, may second
There.
kasi.
John Ray Villanueva actually already was able to hit him on the head, pero
Yeah.
hindi ganun kalakas yung tama. And it looks like it was inadvertent. Pero yung kay Levy kasi, aside from grabe yung impact, makita mo na parang sadya talaga. He wasn't going for the ball.
And it's usually the second act of motion that gets called by our referees, lalo na sa sequence na yun, naman may replay pang referees natin. A clear call, and so that makes us go back to the emotions of Levy Hernandez. You think that was a clear example?
Yeah, definitely. You know, he has to be able to control himself, hold himself down. He has to realize he's a big part of this puzzle para dito sa Batangas City Embassy Chill. Without him, mahihirapan sila dito manalo.
By the way, I like the fact that you mentioned Coach Chris Gavina's presence for the Bacoor City Strikers. Before the arrival of Coach Alex Angeles, it was Coach Chris Gavina at the helm for multiple years. So it's good to have him back.
It also makes it, to add to that, Coach Chris Gavina, I feel like, is a big factor in why the Strikers were able to put up an excellent defensive scheme against Batangas in Game 1. We know Chris Gavina to be a very good defensive coach throughout his career.
Oh, he coached for the PBA already and on international waters as well. It's 14-10. Hernandez to MJ, De La Virgen. Up top, it's John Valoria against Alwin Alday. Screen by Mark Cruz. Valoria to MJ. 10 on the shot clock. Rescreen. De La Virgen. Almost a travel. It is a turnover. Steal by Alwin. And then he lost the ball. It's a dribbling violation.
He had the intention of giving it up to Joel Liu, but I feel like it would have been better if he gave up earlier that rock as he got that steal, because Liu had a chance to push the basketball himself, being a speedster. But Alvin Alday chose to get it across for them, eventually lost it, nadulas sa kamay niya. That's a turnover for Bacoor.
We go back Batangas City's way. 14-10 is the score. Almost 2 minutes gone by in the second. Hernandez misfires. Ball tapped away by Joey Liu.
Levy continues to miss here para dito sa Batangas City Embassy Chill. 0 out of 4 now. All of his attempts have come from the great beyond.
As opposed to how he started in game number 1, you mentioned 2 3-pointers early in that matchup.
Sagutan sila nun ni James Kwekute, and you know that's the reason why we also talked about those mind games that he played with James during the start of the match, which yun na nga, sabi natin, backfired against him.
Baseline inbound, the ball was tapped away by Jamo Egilos, and so there will be a redo here by MJ De La Virgen, and now from the sideline. 13 on the shot clock for Batangas. Conachea up top to John Valoria. Screened by Mark Cruz. John going right. John fires. And it's James Kwekute now on the breakaway layup.
You're seeing the effort from Batangas to try and really move that ball around. And they're trying to wait for Bacoor to commit a mistake on defense. But the Strikers have been very disciplined to the last second. Here they trap MJ De La Virgen, resulting in a steal, and that's a breakaway para kay James Kwekute.
Good effort there by James Kwekute, who hasn't had the best of starts, especially if you compare it to how he began game number 1. And you saw a look there between Kwekute and Levy Hernandez. So the mind games have continued here inside the Batangas City Coliseum.
You are still watching the Mpbl. Kanina pinanood ng Bacoor ang lahat ng magagandang ginawa nila during Game 1 in the hope of replicating those here in Game 2. Sinamahan ito ni Coach Alex Angeles ng tatlong mahahalagang paalala. One, let's win possession by possession. Not just play, but win each and every possession. But right now, he noticed that they are being out-hustled. Number 2, don't stop believing. Malayo na raw ang narating nilang magkakasama at ngayon daw ang panahon para mas maniwala at magtiwala sila sa isa't isa. At pangatlo, don't stop until that final buzzer. The moment they're inside the court, Coach Alex wants to see pure heart and dedication. Maswerte pa rin daw sila because they ended the first quarter down by a single digit. At the end of the day, Coach Alex believes that anyone in this Bacoor team can step up. Wala daw silang main man, pero kapag andyan ang puso, anyone can be the main man. Back to you guys.
Right now, it's John Boloria who's being the main man for Batangas City, at least in the past couple of possessions. Good for him to finally make a shot, but I'd like to go back to Andrea's point about hustle. I ask you this, in terms of hustle, in the statistics, what stats usually reflect that term?
Well, one is the rebounds, 2 turnovers, 3 the steals, and also lastly is the fast break points, because fast break points are also predicated on you being able to hustle for that basketball and push it up front.
Well, we've seen differences in numerous categories, but rebounding seems to be spelling the biggest difference so far. It's 25-14 in favor of Batangas as Mark Cruz misfires. Rebound, Jan Nermal. Bacoor is only down by 3. Here's for the tie. And there you go, we're back to square one.
And this might seem scary for Batangas right now. You don't want Jan Nermal to get on a roll. Numerous times this season, we've seen him go into a slow start early, but once he's been able to get on the rhythm, then it's been good and beneficial for the Bacoor City Strikers. But it looks like on the side of Batangas, Levy Hernandez would want to challenge Jan Nermal in that showdown in scoring.
By the way, it looks like that previous 3 by Levy Hernandez was ruled as a 2. So the score now is 19 all after that basket by Jan Nermal. They go back with CJ Isit. He works with Mark Cruz. Back to CJ, 10 on the shot clock. Cross, drive, almost a turnover. Recovery by Mark Cruz. 4 on the shot clock. Isit for 3. That's short. Nice chase by CJ. Baseline feed. Bit of a scramble. Leading on to a turnover. James Kwekute going to the corner. Ivan fakes. Ivan feeds. 2 big men ready to receive the ball. There's Jaime Aguilos on the putback.
That was a basket waiting to happen. If on the pass, Batangas already recognized that they were lacking in personnel inside the shaded area with Jaime Aguilos and Marquis, one of the 2 recipients for that possible pass. Gotta get Ivan Ludovice. They should have caught up and tried to get a man on both of those guys, but good read by Ludovice, taking care and capitalizing of that advantage.
Now Bacoor has the lead, 21-19. Baloria fires again. That's long. Rebound to Levy. Hernandez losing Nermal. Hernandez now is fouled.
I'd like to see Levy do this more, put the ball on the deck and try to fish for fouls inside, go hard and try and make the big men of Bacoor City get into foul trouble. Look at this move by Jan Nermal. Excellent 1-2 step and the inside scoop. The skill set has improved tremendously para dito kay Jan Nermal.
What has impressed you better? Is skill set or is confidence? Or magkasama ba yung dalawang yun?
Magkasama yun, because when you develop the skill set, it means the confidence continues to build para sa'yo because you practice these moves in your workouts and in individual sessions, and then the confidence comes with it. Confidence comes from preparation.
Hernandez, also a very confident guy, just converted from the line. Tying things up, 21 all here inside the Batangas City Coliseum. Torachea pressuring Jan Nermal from the backcourt. Ball out of bounds in favor of Bacoor.
This is also one thing we didn't see a lot in Game 1 because of the numerous misses by the Batangas City Embassy Chill. They were not able to set up their full court traps.
Jaime Aguilos now got the ball. He knocked down Ablaza. But it seems like Cedric fouled him first.
Yeah, that's a block on Cedric Ablaza. He was in the grill of Jamo Egilos, therefore violating the cylinder which the offensive player is allowed to have in any case on the floor against a defensive man.
The referees will be reviewing that previous sequence. It seems like there wasn't any unsportsmanlike act that happened. So it's just a foul by Cedric Ablaza. We are happy though that he's back here in the MPBL. It's been a while. We were actually joking before this game. Sabi ko, ibang klase ka talaga. No? Pang-playoffs ka lang eh. Hintay mo yung buong season para magpakita sa playoffs. But then again, there still is that transition that continues to happen for him. Just a couple of games in it. So we have to give him his time and space as well.
Yeah, he came in midway through that series against the Imus SB squad. He did have a good opening performance para sa kanila. But then again, you know, it's gonna be hit or miss for him as he tries to get back into his usual rhythm, especially with the intensity and the magnitude of the games that he is playing here right now in the playoffs.
Jandermal, nice feed. Heruta goes to Kwekute. Open three. That's short. Yi goes down. No foul called.
Just imagine, Mix, kung gaano kasarap ang buhay ng isang point guard na tulad ni Aaron Heruta when you have a guy like Jan Nermal and James Kwekute on opposite sides of your wings.
They actually used to replace each other as small forwards for Bacoor, but because of just how good they have been, kinailangan na silang ipagsabay ni Coach Alex Angeles. Heruta getting the offensive board. 21 all. Under 4 minutes in the second. Nermal for three. That's long. Rebound to Levy.
And there is also a testament to his heightened confidence right here. He was really looking for his shot, sizing up the defense right there. Despite the hand in his face, he wasn't afraid to take the shot. But Cedric Ablaza there wasn't afraid as well. But Marquis says, sorry, I'm here. You gotta be afraid.
Even though he's not one of the most athletic players anymore of the MPBL, I'm sure the intelligence continues to be there for Marquis as he gets this block against Cedric Ablaza. May timing yan, no, Javi?
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, they say that defense is not all about just desire, but it's also about the intelligence, how well you can read your opponent, their tendencies and where they're gonna go on the floor, kung kailan ba nila bibitawan yung bola. And that's what Marquis has been exhibiting throughout his career.
All right. Now we turn you over to Sydney Crespo for a report about Batangas.
From their recent huddle, Coach Cholo comes down his troop and asks them two things. Make a stop and score now. Emphasis on now, Mix and Javi, because they don't want to repeat the same mistakes from game 1 of this series. In his own words, we need to win it all the way, hindi isang quarter lang. Ngayon, nakausap ko si Jong Baloria at inamin niyang nahirapan siya last game dahil isang linggo rin siyang nagpahinga para sa kanyang groin injury. Ngayon daw, kahit hindi man sa scoring, tutulong pa rin siya kahit through his leadership on the court. Your thoughts on this, guys?
Oh, that's definitely needed from the side of Batangas, no? Nagagaling yan kay Jong Baloria because after all, he's one of the core franchise players of Coach Cholo Villanueva mula Makati. Kakasama na yung mga yan. And for him, no, to have missed a week, as we know, Javi, in this very, very crucial time in the season, you miss a week, mahaba na yun.
Tama, malaki yung kailangan mo habulin pag ganun. And especially because this is also a time of the year where players are already in their peak, so to say, because we've been playing the whole year and you would expect everybody to be in tip-top playing condition.
Off of the block, Aaron Heruta misses. Cañete, no putback there, but he will be given 2 free throws.
A great push of the basketball there by Aaron Heruta, even if the foul was drawn by Mike Cañete. That play was courtesy of Aaron Heruta as he pushed the basketball after that stop by the Bacoor City Strikers. You see that block once again by Marquis. He has been anchoring the defense of the Strikers, helping them come back to tie this game.
We talked about his intelligence on the floor. I'm sure the mental toughness as well is way up there for Marky. And that's one of the factors mentioned to us by Coach Louis Gonzalez, who's watching right now alongside trust and composure. Importante daw talaga yan, no? Dahil nga, in his words, this series between Batangas and Bacoor, as we take a look at our block story, this series is way more physical, in Coach Louis' words, compared to the North Division. Let's see how the game can continue to unfold. Coach JV Gayoso is watching as well. You did greet him earlier in the first quarter. Shout out to Coach JV. Here's CJ Isit. Three-pointer, that's short. Ball rebounded by Aaron Hiruta.
Numerous attempts by CJ to try and hoist it up from the outside. Actually, a lot of open looks between these two squads, but the field goals haven't been dropping so far at a very consistent rate para sa parehong koponan.
Let's see the numbers. As Cañete was fouled, that basket won't count. Field goal shooting natin 21% for Batangas and 28% for Bacoor City. We have to mention though, Javi, that Batangas has attempted more threes than twos in this game, but they're only 3 out of 22 from downtown.
That's a surprise coming from them. 3 out of 24 from three-point country, because that has been one of their strengths throughout the year compared to Bacoor, who has really relied a lot on inside production because of the depth of their front line. Pero that also goes without saying that their guards have also been playing stellar basketball para sa kanila, and that's why they were able to let these guys shoot it from the outside because of the percentage that they were making those three-point shots in game 1.
Free throws missed by Mike Cañete. We're still tied at 21 with 90 seconds remaining before halftime. Such a low-scoring game. Rudy Linganay, screened by Ablaza. Now they go to set up top against Mike Cañete. 5 on the shot clock. Linganay to Valoria. Baseline drive. Jong feeds. Ochea could not beat the buzzer.
Sometimes Batangas, being a team that really wants to execute their offense to the very last second, they have a tendency to use up that shot clock and be victims to a lot of 24-second violations.
Now we have a timeout. We're still tied. A minute and 10 remaining in the second quarter. The game is brought to you by Extreme Gaming. Of the game is brought to you by TMT. Accelerate your victory with TMT Play. See some of our friends at the sideline. Finance team natin and other parts of the staff of the Mpbl. And of course, our crowd inside the Batangas City Coliseum joining Rudy Distrito, Kenneth Durendes, and Ember Oreta, our MPBL VIPs. We thank you as well for joining us on our live streams and on all of our platforms. This is Mix Gomez alongside Javi Palanya with Andrea Endicio and Sidney Crespo. Javi, it's a low-scoring game, 21-all, with Batangas owning the first frame, Bacoor giving us a good bounce here in the second quarter. What's your explanation to this low score?
Well, both teams have really put on the intensity defensively. Yeah, I'm sure Batangas, being in a do-or-die situation, they wanted to improve on their performance from game 1. But at the same time, the Bacoor City Strikers, when they were down early, I'm sure Coach Alex Angeles, in one of his timeouts early in this match, tried to rally his troops and say that we cannot play like this if we want to win. We have to be able to play that same defense that we had in game number 1. And also, to add to that point, Mix, is these two teams, even those open looks of theirs, they haven't been able to knock down.
Still no baskets made in the past couple of seconds. 35 now remain in the second quarter. Markey finally makes a jumper.
That's one of the first open looks from both of these squads that we've seen come into the hole. That's one of the reasons why these two teams have been in a low-scoring affair. And maybe it's also because teams haven't been able to establish a rhythm because of the heavy defensive coverage na pag na-open na sila, naninibago na sila.
Traveling violation now called on Rudy Linganay, who thought that he was fouled by Aaron Heruta. With 8 seconds remaining, Bacoor will have, ideally, one last possession here. It's Aaron Heruta who will work with Marquis, Jan Dermal, Jaymo Egilos, and James Kwekute. Turnover story. A combined 13, but a +3 on the side of Bacoor. 2 seconds. Heruta misses, and that will do it for our first half here inside the Batangas City Coliseum. This might just be one of the lowest halves that we have seen in Mpbl history in terms of scoring, 23-21.
According to Coach JV Gayoso, might be the third lowest scoring half in the history of the league. A defensive battle between these two teams for the top 2 defensive squads of the league.
Now let's recap our last game that happened inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. Hello again, Mpbl fans, and welcome to Mpbl Recap with me, Mix Gomez, and Coach Louie Gonzalez. Let's talk about game number 2 of the North Division Finals between Pampanga and San Juan. Coach Louie, what stood out the most for you in this game?
Again, with Pampanga, making a stand up to the last, to the final buzzer. Now, even though they've been really struggling all throughout, pero again, laban lang sila hanggang dulo, and mahirap talaga kasi again, lagi ko sinasabi, pinakamahirap yung pag-close out ng series.
Well, they trailed by as many as 19 points itong Pampanga, but they had a 19-point swing in the fourth quarter, scoring 25 and only allowing 6 points to the San Juan Knights in the closing period. Encho Serrano was the best player of the game with 16 points and 7 dimes. He scored in double figures alone in the fourth quarter and dishing out 4 assists in that frame. Big shout out as well to JLC, who had 2 big-time 3-pointers. Justin Baltazar, 14 points and 19 rebounds. Allen Liwag had 10 points and 14 boards. But MJ Garcia, the other ninja, was supposed to be our best player of the game with 16 points and 5 boards as well, up until Encho Serrano came alive for Pampanga. So congratulations to the Giant Lanterns as they have now advanced to our 2023 National Finals. Thank you for joining us in our MPBL Recap. This is Mix Gomez alongside Coach Louie Gonzalez. It is halftime here inside the Batangas City Coliseum, the home of your MPBL inaugural season champions sa Batangas City Embassy Chill as they take on the Bacoor City Strikers in game number 2 of our 2023 MPBL South Division Finals. And now we present to you our numbers of, by the way, the lowest scoring first half in the history of the MPBL. 23-21 for Bacoor and Batangas.
So hindi na pala third lowest. Lowest talaga,
Yes.
Coach JV. Sabi mo third lowest eh.
Sabi niya baka naman.
Baba ka naman. Okay. So you look at the numbers here after those first 20 minutes. Both teams not really shooting well from the field, but you look at the number of attempts. 41 attempts para dito sa Batangas and 35 para dito sa Bacoor City Strikers. They've really been able to attempt shots. A lot of those open looks actually, but it seems both teams have been tense. Aside of course from the added defensive intensity from these two squads. Batangas got off to a good start defensively, but Bacoor was able to get some baskets toward the latter part of that second quarter to be able to grab the lead. 3-point field goal story right here. A combined 4 3-pointers from these two squads compared to game 1, wherein these two teams, after the first 20 minutes, had a combined almost 12 to 14 3-point shots between the two of themselves. As you look at the leading scorers para sa parehong kupunan, Egilos is the top scorer for the Bacoor City Strikers together with Normal, Yi, and Cañete. Not really the usual guys you would see on top of the scoreboard para dito sa Bacoor City Strikers. Sa kabilang panig naman, Jong Baloria, Jexter Apinan with 5 apiece, Levi Hernandez with 4, and CJ Isit in a starting role was able to hit a 3-point shot early in this game.
All right. So now we shall break down your keys to victory, your evaluations at halftime for them.
Number 1 here, unpredictability makes it easy. So far, the Bacoor City Strikers, even with their low field goal percentage here in the first half, they've been able to share the wealth. 6 out of the 10 players that they have fielded in this game have been able to knock down baskets. Number 2, dominate the interior. They're going back to their strength right now. They're not just relying on the outside shot, especially because the 3-point shot has not been falling for them in today's game. Number 3, tune out the noise. They grabbed the lead after the end of the first half, so they've been doing a good job, at least at the latter part of the first half, in being able to refocus and re-energize themselves in this game to try and close out this series.
That's impressive. 3 checks for the Bacoor City Strikers. How about for Batangas City?
Number 1 dito para sa Batangas, finished the job. They've been doing a good job of getting on the glass. They've been dominating the rebounding department, 36-24, one thing that they weren't able to do in game number 1. Number 2, communication is key. That's an X mark for me. A lot of open looks still for the Bacoor City Strikers, especially towards the latter part of that second period where Marky was able to get the basket to give them the lead. Freebies, that's also next mark, because also Batangas has been able to get a lot of open looks, but they have not been able to knock it down as well.
So only 1 check mark on the other hand for Batangas City. All right, it saddens me to say that the information that we said was wrong. So this is not the lowest in the history of the MPBL. Our head of stats, Jory Mangonon, has rescinded his call, no? So it's 19-11, the lowest scoring first half ever between Zamboanga and Davao, with the final score of 47-28. That happened in the Lacan season, March 2, 2020. But one thing is for sure, this is still one of the lowest that we've ever witnessed, as Jexter Apinan opens up the second half with 2 points.
Same set of starters here to begin the second half para kay Coach Cholo Villanueva. And Jexter Apinan really trying his best to set the tone here for Batangas City. He knows that when he's able to get baskets inside, the floor will open up for his other teammates like Levi Hernandez and Jong Baloria to hopefully have some open lanes and open looks as well from beyond the arc.
3-point play completed by Jexter Apinan. So Batangas now regains the lead, 24-23. It's good to see a basket in the interior for Batangas. I actually wanted to ask you the question, if you're seeing more 3-point attempts compared to 2-point attempts, is that a big concern to you?
But for Batangas, no, because they have a plethora of shooters in their arsenal. And compared to this Bacoor City team, they cannot rely on inside production. They really have to get shots from the outside. That opens up the lanes for their other players who play inside, just like Jexter Apinan, and conversely as well. So it's really a reaction between these two players para dito sa these two types of players for the Batangas City Embassy Chill.
So it won't be a problem for you if they continue to fire these threes in the second half. Thank you for that, Javi, as it is now Bacoor with possession. Hiruta works with Mpbl. They also have Egilos, Yi, and Kwekute on the floor. 15 on the shot clock. Crossover. Three-pointer. Nice block by Donachea. Forward pass. CJ Eason against his former teammate. That's 2 points for CJ.
That's something Batangas wasn't able to do in game number 1. Block the shot from the outside para dito kay John Mpbl. He was able to fish a couple of fouls on his outside attempts. Good block by Donachea that fueled the fast break. And here Batangas is on it once again.
Specialty of the house for Jexter Apinan.
You get a stop. Talking about Batangas City. That goes on to become a fast break attempt. An opportunity for them to score in the open floor. And this has been one of their strengths. Aside from their outside shooting, their ability to finish on the fast break, that's been one of the things that has been a key for them throughout their success this whole season.
It's now 28-23. So far in this quarter, the scoring is 7-0. Ablaza with 7 on the shot clock. Going to Apinan. He made a three-pointer in the first half. No bounce there. Man down, that's CJ Isit. He was pushed by Aaron Hiruta.
A good line there on that attempt from the outside by Jexter Apinan. Yeah, we mentioned, Migs, that I am in favor of them hoisting up these three-point shots. But one good thing about Batangas, despite this, is they're ready for those long rebounds. Hence, the offensive rebounds and the second chance opportunities para sa Batangas.
That's a nice fast break layup coming in from CJ Isit. Dominoing onto this three-pointer by Cedric Ablaza. A blistering start by the home squad in the third frame.
Those are baskets needed by Batangas City to fuel their six-man here inside the Coliseum. Great baseline inbound play. Miscue on the defense there for the strikers, and Cedric Ablaza making them pay with that corner pocket three.
He did mention it's no issue for you if they continue to shoot these three-pointers. Good for Batangas to have made one. 30-23 now. This block of the game is brought to you by TMT. Accelerate your victory with TMT Play.
John Mpbl in that showdown in scoring.
This move of the game is brought to you by Nexus 88 Gaming.
The Mpbl, and right now kasama ko nga si Coach RB Mangahas of the Bacoor City Strikers. Coach, medyo mabagal nga po ang simula ng Bacoor City Strikers in the first half. Why do you think so? Ano po yung reason behind it?
Oo nga, nag-slow start talaga kami. Sige, syempre, different atmosphere, home court nila, malaking bagay din yung crowd. So siguro, yun yung nagpabuhay din sa kanila eh. So kailangan lang naman namin maging composed. Hopefully, yun nga, nakakuha naman kami ng defense eh. So nakahabol kami, yun. Buti, dumikit kami ng first half.
And Coach, obviously, dikit at mainit yung laban. Ano po bang kailangan gawin ng strikers para mabawi yung kalamangan?
Ayun pa rin, syempre kailangan namin dumipensa kung saan kami nakilala, kung saan nakilala yung Bacoor City Strikers. Sa defense naman talaga kami namumuhunan eh. So kung makuha pa rin namin, maging compose kami ngayon sa game na to, makuha namin yung mga defense, if we control the boards, I think makukuha namin yung panalo ngayong game 2.
Alright, thank you so much and good luck po sa second half. Coach RB Mangahas of the Bacoor City Strikers. Your thoughts on this interview, Mix and Happy?
Well, so far, the scoring in this quarter is 9-0. As we saw that miss by Donachea. I ask you this question, Javi. Is it the defense of Bacoor that has dropped in the third frame, or is it better execution from the side of Coach Cholo's team?
For me, it's better execution para dito kay Coach Cholo Villanueva. And also, they've been controlling the glass mix here. And, you know, after that report by Andrea kay Coach RB Mangajas, I feel like the team that will be able to win the battle on the glass will be the winner of this series. And so far here today, Batangas is doing just that. That's why they hold a 7-point lead. Naalala natin at we remind everybody again on that dominance on the rebounding department by Bacoor City in Game 1. That's why they were able to dominate that match. But here, Batangas is doing the same at vindicating themselves for their poor performance in Game 1.
You might even argue even better because the difference in rebounding is 14, 39-25 in favor of Batangas City. Great adjustments made by Coach Cholo Villanueva, as he's known for here in the MPBL. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Rainiel Viloria off of the switch. There's the bounce to Jaymo Egilos. Kwekute now against CJ Isit. Good help by Ablaza. Turnover forced. Isit on the run. Isit feeds. Ablaza to Apinan, who misses. Boy, that was an unfortunate sequence. Markey on the other end. Another miss. Loose ball obtained by James Kwekute.
It seems like the floor's slippery here.
Yes.
A lot of players have been losing their footing on numerous occasions.
And Baloria and Heruta fighting for the ball in the previous sequence. The two masked men look to have been a bit more physical than warranted.
They're really trying to play as hard as they can, staking their bodies just to recover that basketball. Let's see that last sequence. Nadula sa bola kay Aaron Heruta. Baloria taps it, and they had to dive for it to really try and gain possession of that basketball. A little bit of extra motion from Heruta after both of them got decked on the floor.
Nothing too drastic though to have warranted an unsportsmanlike foul. Just a foul by Jong Baloria. As now Levy Hernandez checks in.
I don't understand. That should have been a foul on Heruta instead.
Chea sits down. It's Hernandez with Ablaza, Apinan, Baloria, and Isit. Third quarter field goal shooting natin.
0 out of 3 for the Strikers and 5 out of 10, 50% already para dito sa Batangas City Embassy Chill. The defense really heightened here for Batangas.
By the way, you can really see the difference as well in the number of attempts, no? Not only in this quarter, but for the entirety of the game. We've seen 52 attempts by Batangas and only 38 by Bacoor.
Aside from them getting a lot of numerous opportunities due to their offensive rebounds, it's also them getting a lot of stops. That's why they've been getting a lot more possessions and therefore chances at shooting the basketball on their offensive front.
Aaron Heruta just got fouled. A chance for him to score the first points of Bacoor in the third. First free throw drops in.
This might be an opportunity that Bacoor can capitalize on. Batangas is already in the penalty. Sorry, that's Bacoor. But 3 team fouls para attack the basket. They might just also put itong kupunan ni Coach Cholo Villanueva above the limit.
Ivan Ludovice now checks in for Aaron Heruta. He's going to try to defend CJ Isit. Batangas is up by 5 in game number 2. The Blue Shirts are looking to extend this series into a third game back in Bacoor this coming Tuesday. Isit goes to Levy. That's a good look. Three-pointer drops in for Sniper de Mexico.
Excellent read on that single-double play. He saw that his defender overplayed, therefore he flared out, and a good feed right there by CJ Isit to locate Levy Hernandez for that outside bomb.
That's the first three-pointer in this game for Levy Hernandez. He's 1 out of 6 from downtown. Turnover forced. Levy, stop and pop. Short, rebound to Blaza. Cedric wasn't fouled, but he is still able to score.
I don't think Hernandez had good control of that basketball when he went for that three-point shot. Thankfully, Ablaza was there to clean up the mess and stick it right back in. you could see Batangas, they continue to put in a lot of effort in trying to go for their second chance opportunities. A far cry from their performance in Game 1.
We've seen 23 offensive rebounds already from the side of Batangas as opposed to the 20 defensive rebounds. This three-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances.
And on those 23 offensive rebounds, 20 second chance points have been scored by the Embassy Chill in today's game.
Ludovice will answer back. That's a badly needed three by Bacoor.
Ivan Ludovice inserted right here by Coach Alex Angeles to hopefully give some firepower at that point guard position.
The score now is 35-28 with 5 minutes and 10 remaining in the third quarter. Isit drives, Isit scores!
That is championship pedigree and experience for you. He saw that all of the other options on the offensive side were being denied, went for it himself. That's a good go-ahead pass as well. Galing dito kay CJ Isit, recognizing Jexter Apinan was ahead of the pack. Tonight makes you could see the value of a guy like CJ Isit dito sa laro at opensa, pati na rin ang depensa ng Batangas City Embassy Chill.
Oh, he was one of the guys, itong si CJ Isit, who was recruited highly in the offseason by Coach Cholo Villanueva. A lot of people might have thought that Batangas could have gotten more scorers on their list of players, but they got defensive stoppers. One of them is CJ Isit. As now we turn you over to Sydney Crespo.
You know, Mix and Javi, I wish you guys can see a Batangas locker room huddle and witness Coach Cholo in his element. They all watched their first half performance through a small TV and Coach Cholo specified a few things. Huwag itapon ng bola, kailangan na lumaban sa 50-50 balls and make it worth it. Second, they can't be stagnant. Nakikita niyang medyo nag-relax kasi sila, kaya mahirap nang kumuha ng rhythm sa larong ito. And third, they had a lot of opportunities shooting the ball like you mentioned, Javi, pero hindi pa nila ito na ma-maximize kanina. Now, Coach Cholo is looking for more ball movement in this half. So many to share from the Batangas strategists, but so little time. For now, yan muna. Back to you guys.
Well, Javi did mention that he's been more impressed with the offensive execution of Batangas so far in the third quarter. So that coincides with the report of Sydney Crespo. I ask you this though, have you been seeing more variety in terms of the attacks and the shots attempted by Batangas?
Yes, definitely. And this is brought about by the presence of CJ Isit at that point guard spot. There are more weapons now on the floor. When it's Rudy Lingana, Rudy just tends to be a stabilizer. He doesn't really look for a shot a lot. He's not able to get the basket just like he used to in his younger days. But with CJ Isit on the floor, whenever the options for the Batangas team are denied, CJ takes the ball to the basket and is able to score on drives.
There's the foul committed by Batangas, but Marquis got tangled up with Jexter Apinan, ultimately leading to a takedown. Well, takedown might be too much of a word. Apinan did fall on the floor. That's why CJ Isit had some words onto Marquis, to which Mark's teammates defended him. So now the referees will have to review that previous sequence.
At some point, momentarily, the whole Batangas coaching staff was on the floor. They were really mad that no call was made right away after that sequence. But our referees are indeed reviewing it right now to see if there should be any drastic calls on that last play.
Well, that previous play even got Rudy Distrito up on his feet. And when you have our head of security in the middle of the court, that means everybody has to stop.
Not just on his feet, he had to really walk over there to that Batangas side and keep them on their bench.
The referees are now speaking with Richard Tampos for our official call.
Foul number 20, Seda Plaza. That's his fourth foul. Technical foul on number 20, Joel Liu. Technical foul on number 1, CJ Isit, both for unsportsmanlike behavior.
You have a double tick, but what should be more alarming here was the fact that Cedric Ablaza just got his fourth foul. How dangerous do you think that could be?
Well, Ablaza has been performing well. Might not be a lot in terms of offensive production, but his shots have been timely and he has been helping them on the rebounding, and 7 boards already tonight para kay Cedric Ablaza.
We have Ivan Ludovice now at the line. Bacoor has only scored 5 points in this frame as compared to the 17 of Batangas. There you see Marlo Aquino. Hindi na po siya maglalaro. He's done. Actually, he even made history having played with his son in this league for a game. Ludovice converts. 2 for 2. 38-30.
Of course, the skyscraper Marlo Aquino formed a heck of a tandem with our commissioner Kenneth Doremdes when they were playing for the Santa Lucia Realtors back in the day.
Apinan going to Rudy Linganay. Now it's Rafi Octobre. First appearance in game number 2. Apinan. Oh, that's way off. An air ball. And the ball goes straight out of bounds.
Yeah, Rafi Octubre has had his moments throughout the season, especially when Batangas pinned the first ever loss of Pampanga this year. It's surprising to me that he hasn't seen much action in this series. In game 1, he only played close to 6 minutes in that game.
Oh, he even was a part of Coach JV's keys to the game, right? In game number 1. What's the acronym that he used?
ABO.
ABO for Apinan, Valoria, and Octubre. Stop the abo, right? Something like that. As Ludovice misfires. Ball reobtained by Bacoor. Craniel Viloria with 10 on the shot clock. Joey Liu, 2-man game with Jammer Hamito. This is Hamito's first appearance as well in game number 2. Jammer fakes, 2 seconds. No foul called and the shot clock violation.
That's the problem when you don't have John Hermal and James Cuecote on the floor. You now don't have a player you can give the ball to in situations where the clock is running down to create for you and manufacture a shot.
All right, on cue. Now John Hermal checks in for Bacoor City. He has 5 points to his name so far, 2 out of 6 from the field. He's going to try to defend John Ray Villanueva. Apinan inbounds to Rudy Linganay. 2 longtime teammates from Makati to Batangas. Rudy against Ivan Ludovice. Under 3 minutes remaining in the third. 13 on the shot clock. Linganay goes to Levi Hernandez. He's blocked. Nice defense by Jammer Hamito, and there's a foul to stop the break.
Great defensive sequence right there para dito sa Bacoor City Strikers. You see here Hernandez curling, and then Hamito had to go up a little bit to try and help on that shot, and he was able to swat it away. Hamito could have just waited inside the shaded area to try and guard the basket, but he recognized that it was Hernandez who was getting the ball.
This free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. 6 points now in this game for Ivan Ludovice coming off the bench. He's perfect from the line so far, 3 out of 3. Some Bacoor faithfuls asking for one more make. There it is, Ivan delivers. And now we have a timeout, courtesy of Coach Cholo Villanueva. They have the advantage, but a 6-point lead is not safe. We have a long time to go here in game number 2, 38-32. Of the game is brought to you by Extreme Gaming. Now, this is going to be a good comparison. James Cuecote's numbers between Game 1 and Game 2.
James Cuecote hasn't been able
to hold the basketball a lot tonight. Batangas has been doing a good job of denying him the rock. Primarily, it has been CJ Isit, the assigned man to shackle James Quecote tonight. But a lot of other times also, Coach Cholo Villanueva has put different coverages on him to confuse him and to not make him comfortable here in this game, as evidenced by his numbers here tonight.
I did ask Ced Ablaza before this game one question. What's the biggest adjustment made by Coach Cholo? And he said it's a defensive adjustment to those two players, James Quecote and Jan Nermal, as Rudy Lingana scores with the layup.
And now it's John Villanueva, the assigned man to guard James Quecote. That's a rare drive to the basket by Rudy Lingana. Jammer Hamito trying to make an impact here for the Bacoor City Strikers. In game 1, Hamito also checked in late para kay Coach Alex Angeles, but that was already when the game was decided.
Yeah, only 4 minutes of play for Jammer in game number 1, as this assist is brought to you by Ivan Ludavise, going to Jammer Hamito for the gimme. Here's the bonus for Jammer. That's good for the former Pampanga Giant Lantern, the former San Juan Knight. He's been all over the league.
I believe Hamito could be a key here as Bacoor tries to get back into this game and maybe take the lead once again, because now they have a guy who can be a post presence para sa kanila. That could be an advantage for them, because Batangas doesn't have a lot of bigs who can match up, at least on the low block, against a guy like Jammer Hamito. So let's see how Bacoor goes about this and how Coach Cholo will react to this shift in game plan by Coach Alex Angeles.
Well, Jammer did actually start a lot of games in the season for Coach Alex, and I'm sure you would say that he is of starting caliber.
Oh yeah, definitely. The reason why Coach Alex hasn't been able to utilize him a lot is because Coach Alex is trying to play the matchups. Batangas' bigs are quicker, more mobile, guys who really move a lot in attack from the outside, and that's why he utilizes guys who can move their feet on defense. And compared to Jammer Hamito, you know, Jammer isn't really fast laterally.
The ball went out of bounds in favor of Bacoor City. Baseline inbound now for Graniel Viloria as he works with Jammer Hamito, Jan Nermal, James Quecote, and Ivan Ludavise. Under 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Nermal against Donachea, going to Jammer. Hamito drives, Hamito sidesteps, he recovers and scores.
There you see, attacking from that middle of that right wing. Misses on the first attempt, gets his own miss. Nobody can box him out if he's that near to the basket because of his sheer strength, size, and heft.
It's back to a one-possession game now, 40-37. A nice recovery by Bacoor in the past couple of minutes, and now they force a turnover.
I love what they did there. You know, John Villanueva, not really a guy that you would expect would make good decisions off of the dribble. Coach Alex Angeles knows this, and that's why they decided to trap him, blitz him with that basketball, force him to give it up and commit a mistake, and that's exactly what happened. There's that put back by Jammer Hamito. A lot of contributions here in the third by the Bacoor big man.
Viloria misses, rebound Ochea. Forward pass to Levy Hernandez. Levy drives and feeds. Ambuluto is blocked by Jammer Hamito.
A little forced drive right there by Levy Hernandez. Did not see John Villanueva wide open on the left corner. And that could have been a three-point shot by Villanueva that could stop this run that Bacoor City is on.
John Valoria now returns for Bacoor, or for Batangas City. He does have a couple of teammates in foul trouble. Ced Ablaza has 4 fouls. Jexter Apinan, CJ Isit, and Levy Hernandez all have 3. Foul given up by Bacoor, so Valoria will now see the line. Jong's shooting, though, is only at 2 out of 12, so he continues to struggle from the field, much like what happened in Game 1.
And this is a mystery because Jong has been lights out this whole playoffs, averaging 44% from the field. Perhaps one of the top guys in terms of efficiency offensively.
in this postseason. And also to add to that, he's had a lot of open looks tonight, which he hasn't been able to capitalize on.
Well, let's see if his free throws might help him out in terms of gaining his touch. Second one for Jong is good, 2 for 2. 7 points now for Jong Baloria. He also has 5 rebounds to his name. Under a minute to go in the third. Mark Montuano now has made his first appearance in this matchup. Three-pointer from Jan Normal.
You see no hesitation makes despite the defense in front of him. Might not have been a very tight coverage, but the hand was there, and yet Jan Normal was unfazed. The confidence really just showing from Normal in terms of knocking down that three-point shot.
Something that he has worked on all season long. Remember at the start, nangingilang talaga si Jan Normal playing alongside James Quequete. But since his emergence, boy, has he been consistent for Bacoor.
And I do believe we talked about this during the middle of the regular season, as we see that, look at that, Ochea had his hand in the face, almost face guarding Jan Normal, but Normal confidently swishing it through. Going back to what I was saying, I do believe we talked about it in one of the games that because of the presence of guys like James Quecote, the other guys like Jan Normal, Joel Lee were challenged to improve their shooting. They worked on their reps before and after practice, shooting a number of shots to be able to sharpen their touch from the outside.
Good for them to have raised each other up in this program of Coach Alex Angeles.
And that's a mark of a good team. You be a positive influence on each and everybody. You raise the bar for all of your teammates, whether it be the last guy on the bench or the first man para dito sa koponan ng Bacoor City.
The ball went out of bounds. So now it's Ivan Ludovice who shall be inbounding from the baseline. 14 seconds remain in the third. They're down by 4. Ivan working with Hamito and Montuano. Ludovice asking for jammer. 4 seconds. Ivan goes left. Ludovice feeds. He recovers. And that's a miss to end the third. After 13 minutes of play, the score is 44-40. Only a 2-possession separation between our two teams.
Batangas got off to a really good start coming out of the locker rooms. Increased proficiency in terms of execution on the floor. Their defense has also forced the Bacoor City Strikers into tough shots. CJ Isit had his moments, continuing to contribute on both ends of the floor para kay Coach Cholo Villanueva. Dexter Apinan was actually the guy who set the tone early in this third quarter para sa Batangas City Embassy Shield. That's why they were able to get to an early lead. But then the Bacoor City Strikers, they would not go gently into a good night here, especially with the entry of Jammer Hamito. They were able to get baskets from him, and of course Jan Normal, who they've been able to count on numerous times this year.
Nice exchange between the two teams in the third frame. A much higher scoring quarter compared to the first half. Later on, we're going to break it down even more. Talk of the game is brought to you by TMT. Accelerate your victory with TMT Play. Presenting our Suzuki muscular and sporty fans of the game. Just like the Avenus, do more and achieve more with the muscular and sporty scooter from Suzuki, the Avenus. Oras na para magmotor. Big shout out to everybody present inside the Batangas City Coliseum, the home of our inaugural season champions, the Batangas City Athletics. Back then, that was the Batangas team's name, but now they're called the Embassy Chill. And this is such a nice statistic. So big shout out to Sir Jody Mangonon and company, our stats team, for giving us our Mpbl record of coaches with most regular season wins since 2018. Randy Alcantara, Gerson Cabiltes, and Cholo Villanueva.
Those three guys on that list, they are the guys who we look up to in terms of coaching excellence. they really have set the bar high dito sa liga natin. And that's why, the other teams have also been challenged to get seasoned coaches to try and challenge guys like Coach Randy, Coach Jerson, and Coach Cholo.
Number 45.
At some point, we talked about building your all-time Mpbl starting five. I actually thought, who would be my all-time Mpbl coach?
That's tough.
I wasn't able to answer my own question, but I had those three as my choices. So big shout out to those three leaders in our league.
But the difference in that list is that two of those coaches have already raised the national championship,
Right.
except for Coach Cholo Villanueva.
Right. The other coach who I would add to the list is Don Dulay, and he's also won a chip already. As Jammer Hamito scores for Bacoor, it's a one-possession game.
He continues to flex his muscles here. 7 points now in the game para dito kay Jammer Hamito. A lineup that we're not used to seeing here, at least in the postseason, para kay Coach Alex Angeles. Even Mark Montuano is on the floor. So a slower 5 here para sa kupunan ng Bacoor City Strikers, but they've been able to take advantage of it in terms of matchups.
Well, he did ask for unpredictability from the side of the Bacoor City Strikers, and here they are delivering it. Hamito was fouled on the rebounding sequence. So Bacoor will now have a chance to tie or even get the lead. There you see the previous feed by James Quecote finding the magic bunot for Coach Alex Angeles and Jammer Hamito.
James Quecote could have easily just forced the issue and went up for the shot himself. But, the teamwork, the chemistry has really been evident here para sa Bacoor City Strikers. They recognize the fact that they have to be able to play off of themselves. It should not be just one man carrying the torch. Everybody has to chip in and star in the role for them to be able to make it all the way.
Now, I did ask you this question in the third quarter from the Batangas side in terms of them improving their offense, or was it just a drop-off on the defense of Bacoor as Quecote makes a layup? Now, would you say the same from the side of the Strikers in terms of their offense?
Yeah, that's correct. I think Batangas City is surprised right now with the lineup that Coach Alex Angeles has fielded in, and this is the unpredictability that we were talking about. And so maybe the defensive schemes of Coach Cholo Villanueva were not ready for this particular 5 on the floor, which is why nagugulantang ang depensa ng Batangas City now.
But after all, we have been seeing more scoring in the second half. The tally was 23-17 in the third quarter in favor of Batangas. And it seems like our two teams have carried on their momentums to the last frame. Great effort by Quecote. Unfortunately, he's called for a tech. We're going to have to see though where he bounced the ball off of Jong Baloria.
Yeah, I want to see that again. It wasn't really clear because both of these players were onto that sideline. It might have been na yung tumama kay Jong sa ulo, baka yung electric fan. Pero let's see here.
There's the chase. Yes, straight to the back of the head.
It was the ball. All right. I thought someone hit the electric fan because for a while nakita kong gumagalaw eh.
How about
Good
Jeff
job, Jeff.
Evangelista?
Good job, Jeff. Giving those free hugs from the sideline. Yeah, that's what we're all about here at the Mpbl. Love and family.
By the way, that's one of our OG producers and floor directors in the Mpbl,
The very versatile Jeff Evangelista.
All right. Seda Plaza now returns for John Abuluto. Just to clear things up though, if you're going to bounce the ball off of somebody, it has to be on the lower part of the body, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Especially if it looked intentional. If nagmukhang wala ng choice yung player and it was inadvertent, it could be interpreted as, just a simple act of trying to save the basketball. But in that occasion, there was a chance to actually bounce it off his middle part, not just the head.
And also, it's the gravity of the bounce, right? Kung gaano kalakas mong ipapatalbog.
Yes.
Sorry, that's not gravity, that's force. Just had to clear things up in terms of physics terms. It's 44 all now.
Yeah, just to remind everybody, I'm not the guy that you should be questioning about the physics here. I'm not the engineer.
Baseline inbound now for Aaron Heruta as he works with Marquis, Jan Nermal, James Quecote, and Ivan Ludovice. Then on the shot clock, double team. Nermal Ludovice to Heruta. Heruta leads in, and he doesn't get the bounce. 44 all.
I haven't really seen that type of play we've seen from Aaron Heruta in game 1. He's also been some sort of struggle here tonight.
4 points, 2 dimes for Aaron, as opposed to his 8 points and 5 assists in game 1. Missed by Levy, rebound, Jandermal. A chance for Bacoor to take the lead. Kwekute. Cross-court pass to Ludovice for 3. That's short. Offensive rebound, 2 men down. Kwekute scores.
Ludovice has been open on that left corner for 2 or 3 possessions straight now. A good offensive rebound by James Kwekute, proving to everybody that he can also get those hustle points off of those offensive boards.
Lead back with the strikers in game number 2. Valoria backing down. There's the feed. Isit. Nice feed. Ooh, whistle blown. It's 3 in the key.
So much action happening that 2 bigs inside para sa Batangas City were anticipating a shot already. Valoria really tried to back down. Ito si James Kwekute, and he was already inside the paint. Ablaza and Apinan were waiting for a shot to happen. And CJ Isit was actually already 1 foot inside the shaded area when he made that drive.
Back with Aaron Heruta. He goes to Marquis. Pinapalabas si Ivan. Foul. It's a charge.
It seems it was a moving screen on Jexter Apinan. It could have been off the handoff. That's...
Oh, it's on Jandermal.
Oh, it's Jandermal.
He was being defended by Jexter Apinan. Nermal is trying to plead his case that there wasn't any foul from him. So we shall return to the side of Batangas City as MJ De La Virgen replaces CJ Isit. MJ joins Jexter Apinan, Cedric Ablaza, Don Ochea, and Levy Hernandez. Remember, we have a couple of Batangas players in foul trouble. Ablaza in particular has 4. 6 minutes and 43. Hernandez misfires. Offensive rebound. That was offensive rebound number 26 for Batangas. Now it's a traveling violation on Levy Hernandez.
Good call by a referee. That definitely was a walk against Levy Hernandez. You know, Batangas is trying to attack those short closeouts, especially if it's a big in front of them. At that time, Hernandez was just too proficient on his footwork. Coach Cholo Villanueva is living on the sideline right now.
There's a warning given. 46-44. 6.5 minutes remain. If Bacoor wins, then they shall proceed to our Mpbl National Finals, which will begin in Pampanga Friday next week. But if Batangas wins, game number 3 will happen in Bacoor this coming Tuesday. 10 on the shot clock. 2-man game up top. Jandermal from downtown. That's too strong. Offensive rebound, Kwekute. Now James is being defended by Don Ochea. Kwekute misfires.
Oh, what about Kwekute though? Already a couple of offensive rebounds here in the 4th quarter.
Total of 4 offensive boards for James, but MJ De La Virgen delivers on the other end.
It doesn't take much time for this guy to heat up. Even if he's fresh off the bench, he's always ready to take those big shots. Batangas now back in the lead.
47-46. Aaron Heruta going to Ivan Ludovice. Back to Aaron. 9 on the shot clock against Cedric Ablaza. Aaron drives. No foul. That's a miss. Rebound Apinan. Oh, good pressure by Heruta. And the call is a foul though. Aaron is not happy about it.
I really think that should have been a jump. I did not see excessive contact right there that should have merited the personal. Especially in an atmosphere like this, you should have called that the jump ball. That was definitely a held ball situation.
Now, we haven't seen any challenges yet, right?
Yeah, no challenges yet tonight.
If it was actually a jump ball call, then the possession arrow is pointing Bacoor's way. They would have gotten possession. And so, we shall take a break. just so everybody can calm down. 47-46.
The assigned man to guard James Quecote. That's a rare drive to the basket by Rudy Linganay. Jammer Hamito.
This assist of the game is brought to you by Nexus 88 Gaming.
Batangas City, si Jill, last na re. Para kayo nyo na! 1, 2, 3! Let's go, Batangas City, si Jill!
We're back inside the Batangas City Coliseum, the home of the inaugural season champions of the Mpbl, wherein we are seeing the Ramos family, with of course Sir Joe, our executive officer at the sideline. Kasama niya si Commissioner Kenneth Duremdes with Rudy Distrito, our head of security and head of basketball operations, Emer Oreta. This is Mix Gomez alongside Javi Palanya with Sidney Crespo and Andrea Endicio. See our player matchup.
Oh, Jexter Apinan, the only guy in double figures tonight between these two teams, in Jan Normal with 8 on the other side para dito sa Bacoor City Strikers. At let's see, Jan Normal, can he continue to make baskets here for Batangas, or will Cedric Ablaza take over para dito sa kanilang kupunan?
Well, the answer for Ced was no in that previous possession. It's now 47-46. Quecote drives. Quecote scores.
He recognizes that his three-point shot will ultimately be covered, and that's why he's decided to put the ball on the deck. He knows that in terms of explosiveness, in terms of speed, he has the advantage over majority of the defenders Batangas will throw at him.
Balik tayo kay MJ de Leverhen. They're down by 1. MJ. Now the ball is with Jexter Apinan. Ablaza for 3. Off to the left. Ball tapped away and recovered by Jexter. Scramble. Bodies on the floor. And now, it's Aaron Heruta who passes on to Jan. Marquis slows down. Inside pass. Egilos with a mismatch. J-Mo, no foul there. Egilos on the recovery. He scores.
That was good team defense. You could not ask for more there if you were Coach Cholo Villanueva. Just really better offense on the side of J-Mo Egilos. That's experience for you.
4 minutes remain in game number 2. Batangas is fighting for survival, down by 3. MJ de Leverhen on the Ced Ablaza against J-Mo Egilos. 8 on the shot clock. MJ, 1-2, and a miss.
He forced that one right there. That Bacoor defense was anticipating that shot of his, but he could have already easily dropped it off to Jexter Apinan for an easy 2 points on the left side of the basket. Batangas has to play smart here, or Bacoor might just pull away.
Here's the recovery by J-Mo Egilos, able to withstand the defense of 2 Batangas players. 50-47 now. 3 minutes and 35 to go. Aaron Heruta against Levy Hernandez. Marquis, Jandermal, J-Mo Egilos, and James Quecote join Mr. Heruta. 7 on the shot clock. Egilos back to Aaron, 4 seconds. Nice block by Levy. Heruta recovers and he scores.
Big time basket right there by Aaron Heruta. Not giving up on the play despite getting blocked. Chases that loose ball and leans in for the floater. Here you see that shot block by Hernandez on the 3-point attempt. And look where Levy is. He's behind. But Aaron Heruta already racing to the basketball right after that shot block. That's just hard for you. Bacoor, you know, definitely has the deeper lineup here compared to Batangas City. But which team will have the bigger heart here makes that team will win this.
We have a timeout. It's a 5-point lead for Bacoor, 52-47.
Sorry, Jack dito. John dito.
Levy runs into trouble. No problem para kay Levy Hernandez. The crossover from Sed and the stretch layup.
Sa aking mga kababayang Batanggenyo, muling ipapamalas ng Batangas City Embassy Chill ang kanilang galing sa paglaban nila sa South Division Finals ngayong 2023 Mpbl Playoffs. Subaybayan po natin ang Batangas sa kanilang mga matikibong laban dito sa Mpbl, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Maraming salamat po.
Maloria, three-pointer, pasok yan para kay Jong Maloria.
Last 5 minutes and we have a game 3. Ito ang last statement ni Coach Cholo Villanueva bago sila bumalik sa court. Paulit-ulit niyang sinasabi that they need to show more movement on the floor, whether that is rebound or extra pass. As Coach Cholo said, they need to redeem themselves and win this at home. Bago nakabalik si CJ Isid in the game, he was feeling a little bit of cramps kanina, so kailangan niya uminom ng gamot. Let's see if that will affect the last few minutes here. Back to you guys.
Well, that might be a big factor. CJ Isid has been splendid in tonight's outing. He has 7 points with 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Hernandez, a crucial 3. That's long. Rebound, Kwekute.
I feel like that was a rush shot right there for Batangas City. Too early in the shot clock. I'm sure that's not the play that Coach Cholo wanted. There's 3 minutes and 4 seconds left in this game. No need for a rush shot like that if you're Levy for Hernandez, especially coming out of a timeout.
But Happy, how about James Kwekute? He has 8 points and 9 rebounds to his name.
He recognizes that, you know, a lot of his the opportunities that he's had in game 1 would not be present today, especially because of that outburst that he had. I'm sure Coach Cholo Villanueva planned a lot of defensive schemes, and he knows that. That's why he's had to contribute in other ways.
Back with Aaron Heruta. 10 on the shot clock. Nice pass to Egilos. But better defense by Batangas. Nermal onto Marquis. Back up to Aaron. 9 on the shot clock. There's the screen provided by Jamo. Heruta dashes through. And he doesn't get the bounce. Rebound Ablaza.
Important stop right here for Batangas, but they need to get a basket. Oh, look at John Nermal almost getting that basketball away from Levy Hernandez. You see, that's really the value of a John Nermal. Now that he's been very great offensively, you could not discount the fact that he's such a pest defensively. He has that length with his arms, and he's able to move his feet very fast.
Just so everybody knows, John Nermal is taller than Marquis. That's how lengthy he is. 15 on the shot clock. The ball got loose in favor of Batangas. But it seems like Coach Alex Angeles will now be using his challenge. We haven't seen any challenges so far in this game.
Tense situations right now para sa parehong koponan. 2 minutes and 22, still an eternity of basketball left to be played here. And again, just like I said before that last timeout, which team will have the bigger heart? That is the team that will come out on top tonight.
All right, to recap the circumstances, if Bacoor wins tonight, they will advance to the 2023 Mpbl National Finals to take on the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. And that series shall begin Friday inside the Brenziguiao Convention Center. But if Batangas wins, Game 3 will happen inside the Strike Gym in Bacoor City on Tuesday. And that will move Game 1 of the finals to Saturday inside the Pampanga Gym of the Brenziguiao Convention Center. Somewhere out there, Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda, Balti Baltazar, Encho Serrano and company must be and should be watching closely in this game, anticipating their foes in the national championship. So the challenge was successful for Coach Alex. It will be Bacoor gaining possession here.
Smart decision to challenge. This was the play in question. Kapinan, he had last touch of the basketball. Heruta did not have his hand on that rock.
2 minutes and 22 remain. Bacoor is up by 5 and they have the ball. Heruta inbounds to Normal. They also have Kwekute, Egilos, and Marquis on the floor. Valoria's playing defense against Aaron. The two masked men going at it. Heruta escapes. Double team now. Up top to Marquis. 9 on the shot clock. Back to Heruta. Heruta attacks. Kick out to the wrong guy. No numbers for Batangas. CJ Isit to Ablaza, who fakes. Ablaza, kick out to Valoria. Jong goes to CJ. 12 on the shot clock under the last 2 minutes in game number 2. Oh, nice trap by Egilos. A backward violation by CJ Isit.
What defense right there by the Bacoor City strikers. Batangas wasn't able to get near that shaded area. You see here the big man, Jamo Egilos, extending all the way out beyond the three-point line just to pressure the point guard of Batangas, CJ Isit. That's how bad they wanted.
Back with Bacoor under the last 100 seconds of this game. Kwekute against Isit. Kwekute drives. No foul there. Offensive rebound, Marquis. Back to James. 9 on the shot clock. Marquis has the ball. His three-pointer almost went in. And here comes Batangas. They're down by 5. Under 80 seconds. Valoria for 3. That's short. Rebound Apinan. Jexter needs a teammate. There's Ablaza, top of the key. Ablaza drives. Ablaza misses. Ball tapped and recovered by Donachea. Here's Jong, corner 3. That's short. Air ball.
That's a forced shot by Valoria. They had time to give it to another teammate. And he commits a foul, I think, after that, out of sheer frustration. That's been the story of the night para sa kanya.
Jong Valoria in this game is 2 out of 16 from the field. That's after shooting 2 out of 8 in game number 1. 52-47. Bacoor is closing in to game 1 of the national finals. Kwekute goes to Egilos. Jamo crosses. He needs a teammate. There's Aaron Heruta. 40 seconds remain. Heruta being hounded by Valoria. That's a clear foul. Jong has to stop. Ooh.
That is not good at all. Valoria just really got out of hand. Threw a couple of hits, a closed fist on Aaron Heruta, and even poked James Kwekute after that. Very, very disappointing coming from a guy like Jong Valoria. You know, this game far from over, Migs. There was still a lot of time on the clock, but after this, I'm sure there will be calls made and, you know, drastic things. Free throws will be given to the Bacoor side, and those free throws might just actually put this game away. That's been the story. Which team will be composed? Which team will have the bigger heart? And Bacoor has really stuck to it. They're playing their game.
Foul number 45, Jong Valoria for punching. Jong Valoria is out of the play.
So Jong is out. No question there. Closed fists are not welcome in basketball. I'm actually impressed with Aaron Heruta as he tried to contain James Kwekute off of that scuffle, because Aaron knows that they need James Kwekute come game 1 of the finals if they advance.
Here was this last sequence. You see here Heruta doing a good job of really guarding that basketball away from Jong Valoria. There was the initial hit, and then may isa pa. Definitely no place in the game of basketball for acts like that. I myself am very disappointed with how Valoria acted on that.
There you see the second motion by Jong. He had a hand to the face, to the hair of James Kwekute. Good job by our officials, our marshals as well, to separate our players. Heruta makes the first free throw. Second one for Aaron. That's no good. He has 7 points with 6 boards and 3 dimes to his name. And you did characterize Aaron Heruta as a stabilizer for Bacoor.
Comparing his performances from this year to last, Heruta was a lot of times out of shape last year in a stint with Bacolod. This year, he has really had a conscious effort of getting into much better playing condition, and has also been a big factor in why Bacoor was able to finish the regular season on top of the Southern Division, and now a big factor of why they will end up on top of the Southern Division to represent in the National Championship. Let's see though, 21.7 seconds left, makes 4-point lead. This is not yet over.
That was a nice steal made by the best defender of Batangas in Don Ochea, and the lead pass to 2 easy points for CJ Isit. We have seen stranger things happen in basketball. A 4-point separation with 22 seconds to go. That's no safe lead for Bacoor, but Batangas will have to pull off a comeback without Jong Baloria.
Definitely, both teams still with a timeout each. So this is still very much possible. They get a quick stop here. I'm sure that Coach Cholo Villanueva will try to go for the steal in the first maybe couple of seconds of the play. If that won't happen, they would have to foul right away and have to play the free throw game. So let's see how this one will play out. This is not yet over, ladies and gentlemen. Batangas still definitely with a chance here. Bacoor not yet out of the woods.
Let's see what Coach Alex has in store for us as we are about to show you a special object inside the Batangas City Coliseum. A thing that is on the hands or on the reach of the Bacoor City Strikers. Can they get the South Division Championship tonight? That is our question with 22 seconds remaining. Coach Alex Angeles is dreaming for that trophy. That's just one half of the journey. We still have one more series after this battle. Sideline inbound for Aaron Heruta. They have 14 on the shot clock. Heruta needs a teammate. There's Egilos. He's trapped, but there's a foul called.
Oh, good catch right there by Jamo Egilos. And you saw his ability to really control that basketball with just one hand. That's kind of tough to do, especially with the pressure that was exhibited by Batangas.
Seda Blaza now fouls out of the game. Let's see the numbers of Jamo Egilos. He's perfect from the line so far, 2 out of 2 with 8 points and 7 boards.
Makes you have to point out now, this is going to be an even tougher road to climb here for Batangas if they want to make a comeback. No more Jong Baloria, no more Cedric Ablaza, 2 guys that they really were expecting to deliver for them in the clutch.
This free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Egilos just missed his first gimme. 20 seconds to go. This is not over yet.
That's his first miss of the line.
That's right. And we can actually see Coach Cholo now drawing up a play for Batangas. Second one for Jamo Egilos. That's good. Timeout will be called by Batangas. Down by 5 with 20 seconds remaining. Do they need a 3 here?
The quickest basket that is available, that is what they take, whether it's a 2 or a 3. It has to be a quick one. 20 seconds, exactly 20 seconds on the game clock. I'm sure Coach Cholo Villanueva will try to set up maybe Levy Hernandez for a 3-point shot. I'm checking if he's going to insert Rafi Octubre here for an added shooter. But it looks like it will be Levy Hernandez who will be the designated guy on the play. You see there CJ Isit, Don Ochea as well. Mark Cruz is in there to replace Cedric Ablaza, who just fouled out.
That seems to be the forward Jexter Apinan. Let's see if Batangas can fight for another day. Their backs are against the wall. And this is a team that has struggled in the playoffs throughout the years of the Mpbl. They've always been one of the best in terms of the regular season, but they fall short come the postseason. Last year, they were 1 point away from reaching the national finals. Now they're 5 points down. CJ Isit inbounds. Apinan catches. Now they go to Levy. Three-pointer is long. Rebound Mark Cruz. He needs a teammate. Ooh! That pass was off target. A turnover.
It was a good shot, Mix. They had what they wanted. A decoy play. They set up Jexer Apinan on the flare and then put Levy Hernandez on the left side, having a pin down for him off the curl. He had that three-point shot. It was a good look. Unfortunately, it missed. Mark Cruz was able to get the offensive rebound, but the pass just on the other side of CJ Isit that resulted in that turnover.
With 10.5 seconds remaining, now Coach Alex Angeles is talking to his team so that they can take care of this basketball. Up by 5, looking comfortable as they try to advance to our Mpbl National Finals. There you see the avid fans of the Strikers traveling from Cavite to Batangas, and their efforts are all so worth it. They're moments away from possibly advancing to the finals. It'll be a sideline inbound for Aaron Hiruta. He's gonna work with Jamo Egilos, James Quecote, Marquis, and Jan Nermal.
All they need to do is just get it inbound.
Hiruta still is looking for a teammate. There's Marquis. He's taking his time. Again, CJ Isit. Marquis escapes and passes. 3 seconds. That's it. And there you have it, folks. The Bacoor City Strikers will advance to the 2023 Mpbl National Finals, and they will go up against the Pampanga Giant Lanterns.
Yeah, you know, makes more than the great performance that they had throughout the playoffs and in this series. You could really sense that by the end of the game, it was really destined for them. The breaks of the game went their way. The Bacoor City Strikers, I'm sure, very happy that they reached the national finals for the first time, but the job isn't done.
Bacoor last year, they were a tough team that reached the playoffs, but they had different leaders. They managed to basically combine two franchises, two rosters, build an all-star team under the tutelage of Coach Alex Angeles. They got James Quecote. They improved Jan Nermal. Now, those two are the newest stars of Bacoor, and they will take on Balti Baltazar and Encho Serrano in a duel between the top two teams in the Mpbl.
You could not write it any better. The top team in the North to end the regular season, representing that division in the national championship, and the top team in the South to end the regular season, now representing their respective side in the national finals. This is gonna be a premier blockbuster series, matched up on paper, talent-wise, the depth. It's really head-to-head here as we approach the national finals.
But now we have to celebrate the emergence of this guy, Aaron Hiruta, the stabilizer, as you mentioned, for the Bacoor City Strikers. In terms of statistics, it might not have been the brightest for Aaron, but it was well enough to get the victory.
Yeah, you know, more than the numbers, I feel like I had to give the player of the game honor to him just because of how he was able to orchestrate the offense, made sure that even when they were down, things had to be running well. We have to acknowledge guys like Jamo Egilos, Jan Nermal, James Quecote, who all had splendid performances as well. But I just really had to give it to Aaron Hiruta, you know, especially during the tail end of that game wherein he got into that scuffle with Jong Valoria. He had all the reason para bumawi. But because the game was on the line, it wasn't finished yet, the score was close, he had to be able to compose himself, and that's exactly what he did, just like what he did the whole game.
That's why Aaron Hiruta now deserves this moment with his newborn baby and with Andrea Endiso.
First of all, congratulations. Medyo mabagal yung naging simula ninyo, pero ano ba yung nag-spark sa inyo? Ano yung naging turning point at nakuha niyo yung momentum?
Tuwala lang talaga sa kay Lord. Doon kami kumuha ng lakas ng loob kay Lord God, and syempre nagstay kami sa system ni Coach Alex na defense all the way, and thank you sa Panginoon at nakuha namin yung panalo.
Aaron, ito yung unang pagkakataon na aapak ang Bacoor City Strikers sa National Finals ng Mpbl. Anong nararamdaman at naiisip mo?
Excited, pero at the same time medyo syempre may konting kaba. Yung team namin, sabi mo nga first time pumasok ng Bacoor City, pero sa lineup namin marami na rin nakapaglaro dito sa National Finals, which is sana maging in favor sa amin.
Alam ko, masayang-masaya ka ngayon. Meron ka bang gustong batiin o pasalamatan?
Una, nagpapasalamat ako sa Panginoon, nagpapasalamat ako sa bumubuo ng Bacoor City Strikers, and nagpapasalamat ako sa mga lahat ng bosses namin, kay Mayor Strike, kay Boss Dennis. Nagpapasalamat ako sa family ko na walang sawa sumusuporta sa akin, yung wife ko, si Dana, and syempre itong si baby ko. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, that is our best player of the game, Aaron Heruta. At dumako naman tayo sa ating winning coach, Coach Alex Angeles. Coach, you managed to end this South Division Championship Series with a sweep. Paano nyo nagawa yun, Coach? And ano pong masasabi ninyo?
Well, unang-una, papasalamat muna kami sa ating Pangulong May Kapal. Kung hindi dahil sa kanya, hindi namin makukuha to. Pangalawa, syempre, sa aming boss, kay Boss Mayor Strike, kay Ma'am Shea Revilla, ganun din kay Boss Dennis at sa aking mga player. Talaga naman, binigay nila yung best nila para makuha namin yung championship sa South. Pero hindi pa dito kami natitigil. Hindi dito natatapos. Sabi nga sa verse na binigay namin kanina, nothing can stop God's plan for your life. Kaya eto kami ngayon, nagdidiwang pero hindi pa tapos ang laban.
Coach, looking ahead, facing the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, anong klaseng Bacoor City Strikers ang i-expect namin?
Well, ang i-expect nyo lang palagi, itong mga batang to, itong mga players namin to, lahat kami lalaban hanggang dulo. Bibigay namin yung 100% effort namin, most especially on defense. Kasi kita nyo naman, hindi man kami makashoot, pero yung depensa namin andon. Yun yung nagbigay sa amin ng lakas, yun yung nagbigay sa amin ng fuel para makuha yung championship dito sa South.
Very well said. Congratulations. Once again, that is Coach Alex Angeles of the Bacoor City Strikers. Back to you, Migs and Javi.
Thank you, Andrea. Good for to have mentioned that it's going to be Bacoor's first appearance in the finals, much like Pampanga. And yes, with Batangas now dropping out of the race, the trend shall continue. This year, we will have a new set of Mpbl national champions. You see the final score, 54-49. Boy, what was it, a tough grit and grind type of game, Javi? Low scoring at that, but Coach Alex and company will gladly take this.
I did not expect less coming from these two teams. We mentioned at the top of our coverage that this was going to be a dogfight. Batangas, even if they were blown out in game one, they definitely would not want to be blown out, especially on their home floor, and also because that if they were in a do-or-die situation, they would do everything in their power to try and extend this series. It's just that Bacoor City responded to the good play that Batangas had at the start of the game. They made numerous comebacks. Each time Batangas was able to establish a lead, and in the end game, they were the more composed squad. They were the squad who had a lot more hustle, a lot more heart in them, and the breaks of the game went their way at the tail end of this match. So, you know, kudos to Coach Solo Villanueva for such an incredible season. Unfortunately, he falls short once again in the division finals, but also a big congratulations to Coach Alex Angeles and the Bacoor City Strikers. They could not have written this any better, as we mentioned, but the job isn't finished.
Much like what the Pampanga Giant Lanterns did to San Juan, Bacoor limited Batangas to only 5 points in the fourth quarter of game number 2. San Juan only scored 6 in the fourth quarter of their game 2 versus Pampanga. So, again, the defense of Bacoor standing tall against the Batangas City Embassy Chill. But now, since we saw the playoff picture already, the stage is set for the ultimate duel between the top teams from the North and the South respectively. Javi, I'd like to get your thoughts, your expectations. What are you excited about come the finals?
I'm excited that this is going to go the full distance. I feel like this is going to be a 5-game series para dito sa Pampanga and sa Bacoor. These two teams are the teams that are really matched up in terms of talent, in terms of depth. Their roster has really been made up to match up against each other. Bigs, guards, lahat yan laban. On the side of Pampanga, of course, you have Echo Serrano, Balti Baltazar, our leading MVP candidate. And on the other side, you also have guys like Jan Nermal, James Quecote, and then you have Marquis. On Pampanga side naman, Marquis' counterpart, Arwin Santos.
Yes.
So, a lot of matchups, a lot of storylines that are waiting to pop up, that are waiting to be discussed. I'm very excited for this series to unfold, and I'm sure both of these teams, Pampanga and Batangas, will not give an inch to each of them come the national championship as they try to be crowned the 2023 Mpbl champions.
And those were just 3 names from each team mentioned by Happy Palanya. The list goes deeper. Would you actually say that they're the 2 deepest teams in the whole of the Mpbl?
Definitely this year, yes. Of course, Nueva Ecija, they were one of the deepest teams, but because Pampanga was able to retool and really get a lot of huge names, not huger, of course, than Balti Baltazar, but they, of course, Echo Serrano is there, and then you have guys like Luis Sangalang, JB Bayo, even Kurt Rayson played for them for a while to help them in getting some wins in the regular season. But Bacoor City Strikers, they did the same as well, merging practically Bacolod with this Bacoor team. And good job to Sir Dennis Abella for being able to piece together this strong team. And also I'd like to give a lot of credit to guys like Mark Montuano, who had to take a back seat to guys like Marky, to guys like Jan Nermal and James Quecote, to be the guys to lead this franchise on the way to where they are right now.
Well, I did talk to Mark in the middle of the season, and he said, ang perspective lang naman nila, if this is what it takes for us to win a championship, then we will gladly take this role. So, there you go. There you see Mark Montuano in the middle of the picture, rejoicing as they hold on to that Mpbl South Division Champions Trophy. So they're the reigning kings now of the South after what Zamboanga showed us last year. By the way, big shout out as well to Nueva Ecija and Zamboanga. Last year, they basically raised the bar to everybody, as you mentioned, because of what they showed us. Practically, sila yung sinundan ng Pampanga, ng Bacoor. Pinalakas nila yung teams nila in order to eventually beat out Nueva Ecija and Zamboanga among other squads here in the Mpbl. But now, let's lead you into a teaser for the Bacoor City Strikers. There you have it. The stage is set for the 2023 Mpbl National Finals. The Pampanga Giant Lanterns will take on the Bacoor City Strikers, and game number 1 will happen on November 24. That's Friday next week inside the Brenzigiao Convention Center in Pampanga. I remember that interview in the press conference to Governor Coach Dennis Delta Pineda. Doon pa lang sinabi niya na mahihirapan tayo nito come the finals dahil sigurado lahat gusto manood at hindi tayo magkakasa sa gym natin.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to add to what you were saying right before that teaser makes. It really has been a good thing that what Nueva Ecija and Zamboanga did last year in raising the bar. And it just keeps getting better and better. I know this season isn't over yet, and we haven't crowned a champion yet, but you know, aside from I'm very excited to witness this best of 5 series for Pampanga and Bacoor. I'm also very excited for what's gonna happen next year.
Yes. So imagine, dahil umangat na yung standard ulit. So gaano pa kaya ang iaangat noon in the 6th season of the Mpbl? So there you have it. It's Pampanga versus Bacoor in the finals. Thank you for joining us here in game number 2 for Sydney Crespo, Andrea Endicio, and Javi Palanya. My name is Nix Gomez, and now we turn you over to our press conference.
Welcome to Mpbl post-game press conference. We are joined by the new South Division champion head coach, Coach Alex Angeles, and best player of the game, Aaron Hiruta. Coach, first question, ano yung pakiramdam na kayo ng last team standing sa South and nakapasok na kayo sa National Finals, Coach?
Uulitin ko, pasalamat muna kami sa ating Panginoong May Kapal kasi kung hindi sa Kanya, hindi talaga namin makukuha to. Doon kami kumukuha ng power, ng sandigan, lahat sa Kanya. Siya yung magaling. And then sa basketball side naman, nag-stick lang kami talaga sa strength namin, which is yung defense. Kita naman natin, hindi man kami maka-score, pero we make sure makaka-stop pa rin kami. So sabi namin, execute lang tayo, execute. Kung hindi man makashoot, basta tayo, di-depensa sa defensive side. Laro pa rin natin itong nangyayari. So sabi namin, walang bibitaw sa isa't isa, stay composed. Pinakamahalaga sa dulo yung emotion nila at kinontrol nila. Kita nyo naman, alam naman namin na yun na yung Batangas talagang magiging physical, hindi nila ibibigay ng ganong kadali yung laban. Kaya hats off ako kila Coach Cholo, sa buong coaching staff at sa buong Batangas na talaga naman binigay nila yung best nila para mabigyan tayo ng magandang laban dito sa South Division Finals. Kaya muli, yun yung naging namin basehan.
Coach, sa National Finals, it will be Bacoor versus Pampanga. So kamusta po yung magiging matchup natin doon? Preparation, Coach.
Pahinga muna siguro ng mga 2 araw itong mga to. Tapos babalik lang kami sa drawing board. Pag-aaralan ulit namin yung player by player ng Pampanga. Then balik ulit kami sa ensayo. Then doon ulit kami magsisimula. Naniniwala kami, nabubuhay kami na kailangan mabuhay tayo day by day, possession by possession, moment by moment. Hindi pwede natin i-foreseen kaagad yung future. So, kailangan mag-umpisa muna kami doon sa step by step. Baby step muna ulit.
Sir, what can you say about the game of James Kwekutay na, di ba na-held siya into 2 points ng first half? Paano po siya nakabawi nitong mga second half na talagang pakabagabong?
Well, kita nyo, ganda talaga ng depensa kasi ng ng Batangas sa kanya. Sabi namin, basta depensa pa rin, and then darating yung bola sa'yo. So may pagkakataon doon, dumarating sa kanya yung bola, nakaka-steal siya, tapos doon siya nakakakuha ng points na sa transition, or kaya coming off of offensive rebound, pero not necessarily doon sa sets namin. So, kumbaga, nag-stick lang siya sa bawat kakampi niya, and then later on, binigay sa kanya yung breaks kahit papano, kaya doon kami nakakuha ng buwelo din.
Aaron, yung nga, being part one of the veteran of this team, yung nga, despite na wala man lang naka-score sa niya ng double digits, parang how are we able to instill your leadership sa team na to, especially in this crucial moment na yung nga, low scoring game, medyo bakdagulan pa sa huli.
Doon nakita na yung sa team namin, wala naman talagang kaming nililook up na superstar o ano. Kumbaga, kahit sino sa team namin, kayang umiscore, laging sinasabi ni Coach Alex. Kaya, tsaka yung main namin is yung tulong-tulong talaga namin sa depensa, yun talaga yung magpapanalo lagi. Kahit malas man sa score or di man makascore lahat, importante nakakadepensa kami, nakaka-stop, sabi nga ni Coach Alex.
Coach, follow up lang kasi nga, you mentioned that you take right when you